Okay, chat. I would just like to point out, on my second monitor in the pre-stream here, I've been trying to set up command codes for Darius real quick. And I know I've said it a million times, but the command code UI is fucking horrible. Alright? 7 years into the game, why am I still looking at this fucking horrible UI? Why is there no, like, favorites tab? Why can't you drag and drop? Why is, like, the filtering system terrible? Why is there a fucking animation that plays every time you do anything? Right? I'm losing my mind over here. What is up, everybody? Alright, now we're just totally starting a normal stream here of Lostbelt 6. But, yeah, if we could, like, get a new UI for FGO, I'd be very happy. So, how y'all doing? Hey, look, it's Lu Bu. What's he doing in Lostbelt 6? You know, if Darius got a really good animation update, I would be tempted to grail him to 120. Like, I've always liked Darius. He's green. He was one of the units I was, like, really hyped to use when I got into the game 30 years ago. Never got an animation update, though, which kind of sucks. But, also, they don't really do animation updates anymore because I don't know. I really hope that changes because it sucks. It's been about a year since we've had an animation update. It's pretty messed up. I don't know what's going on, man. We'll see, though. Maybe Lostbelt 7 is really gonna impress us. It kinda needs to, all things considered, with how slow the game's been for a while. Maybe we'll get a new 3-star. That would make me happy. Alright, let's see here. These are gonna apply dots. Guess I'll make stars here. How many? 21. Gut CE might have been better. Might want to BBB just to make sure this thing dies. We can do it. Should work. Got crits. God damn it! I should have done BBB. I had faith. I don't know why I had faith. God, we got so fucked up because of that too. Well, and 2,000 lives. Faith is a bad stat, apparently. Should have leveled intelligence. Why are they so big? Thought about doing quick art to refund. Now we might lose this. Don't proc guts this turn. Proc it next turn, we're fine. Uh-oh. Well, shit. See, if I didn't make that mistake earlier, we would have had enough health to live there. Let's see. Gotta use this to get rid of a dot. Not dead yet. Oh, fuck. That dot will proc our guts if I don't. Let's see, I can remove the multiplier. Oh, boy. Man, I am one turn away from being able to remove both of those. Why didn't I cast this? Why the fuck did I not cast that? Oh boy, have we made some mistakes here. Okay, this is a necessity. I don't know if the dot's gonna kill us or not. Ooh, okay, dot didn't kill us. We have to kill him right the hell now. I'm not sure we can actually accomplish this. Come on, Darius. Big damage. Double crits. Got the defense down. There you go. Fuck! I think that would have killed. I mean, maybe we live here? No. Okay. 1 minute. Let me just upgrade our craft essence for one. Chat, see, because I didn't bother to give Darius an optimal craft essence, you know, something to make one of my favorite units perform better. You know, he didn't do as well as he could have, chat. Where if I had given him something like that would have made his value better, right, no matter what. Like, you know, Golden Sumo, chat, that probably would have won it for us, right? We would have done more damage. We mixed in a lot of extra attacks. We did art and quick, and you see attack up makes not just your buster better, but your art and quick better too. So, by the way, chat, I got like my emulator up here on my second monitor, and it's so mad that I'm talking about Golden Sumo, it crashed the game. So that's a thing. Let me just reboot that real quick. Let's see, our command codes could have been better, but I feel like we can win if I just kill faster. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I could bring another anti-dot command code. I would hope that's not necessary, though. Hey, C9, thank you for the 15 months. Taking forever to boot up the game on my other monitor here. There we go. Alright. There's Darius. We'll give him Golden Sumo. Memes aside, I think this actually will make a noticeable difference. More leveled up than the other CE he used. And we did do a lot of attacks that weren't buster. I'm waiting to go ham on the lottery event until the final free quest is up. We'll only have like a day or 2 days to farm it though, but I'll try to get a good chunk done there. That way, if they add some stuff in Lostbelt 7 that I want, I've got like skill gems for everything though. So hopefully I'll be set there. Wait, it is up? Shit. Did it unlock today? Am I crazy? I thought it was till like tomorrow that the final one would unlock. Shit, it should have been a farming stream. Oh right, you have to do the story. I mean, I think I just haven't looked today, but yeah, I just thought it was tomorrow. My stage isn't that bad. Like Percival and Fionn are really good for it, if I remember correctly. If it's the stage I'm thinking it is. Are you fucking kidding me with that? 70 HP? Let's see. Yeah, obviously I'm talking about JP, not NA. I don't give a fuck about NA. Dude, this is so lame that that one's at 70 HP, because I could just BBB down the other one. I guess I'll BBB anyway, and that way I can do like max overkill. Although I could do overkill now to have crits for this one, that's probably better. Hey, if we didn't have Golden Sumo, we'd have done even less damage to that guy. That sucks though, we're not really any better off than last time because of that. Actually, I think we're still slightly better off, but... Wow, we didn't crit a single time. Thankfully, we killed anyway. That's crazy. We had like 50, 60, 70 crit chance. We had 0 crits. Okay, actually cast this. Like, I'm gonna Rainbow, just because the crit chances are so much better. Yeah, there's been a few times where NA and JP have coincidentally had the same event because of reruns or strange stuff like that. Yeah, we're pretty much in the exact same situation we were before because of that guy ending at 70 HP. We just do a little bit more damage. Actually, I don't think we had our NP there. Yeah, I think when we got to the end here, we didn't have our NP. And that'll give me 1 turn to do BBB after the NP, so you know, yeah, this does do the trick. But we could have been even better off if, that had gone better earlier with the 70 HP thing. But yeah, we didn't have our NP last time. Ooh, big damage right there. Yeah, we got it. Still, pretty tough for Darius to do this stage. Actually, there's a chance we don't kill here. If we don't crit at all and we low roll, he might live. Okay, we got a crit. I think the extra would have killed anyway because of the defense down. I think we had like just barely enough there, but it would have been cutting it really close. Yeah, Darius though, not a master of soloing. I'm just saying. Not the worst though. There's actually far worse units out there. You know what's fucked up, chat? Billy the Kid, right? An archer at level 100, 2k foe. So not as upgraded as my coup, but still very upgraded. He can solo Gwaine in Camelot, but it's like a little close, right? And then Coup could solo it, and also it's close. But Billy is an archer. Right? Never mind being class neutral, he's an archer, right? He's getting double damage on Gwaine. Coup is getting half damage, right? The difference there is astronomical. And Billy, like, you know, cuts it a little close. Not like crazy close, but he cuts it fairly close on soloing Gwaine, right? And then Coup can fucking do it, right? It's just like, yeah, there's a bit of a gap here. I know, if there's one thing I like about Extella Link, it's Darius's animations in that game. They're super great. The thing is, like, my Billy, so stat-wise, my Coup is basically a level 105 star. That's 2k foed, right? Like, I think he's slightly lower than that. So he's like above a level 105 star that's 1k foed, but I think he's a little bit below a level 105 star that's 2k foed. And then Billy is like a level, I think, 94 star that's 2k foed, right, stat-wise, somewhere, he's around there. So the gap between Coup and Billy, although, it, you know, it exists, it's not that big, right? And then because any difference in their stats there is massively compensated for in the other direction by Billy being a fucking archer, right? And Ku being a lancer. It's not... Basically, Billy is just not an exceptional 3-star. He's not a bad one, right? But he's just like a 3-star archer, right? He's like exactly what you would expect out of a 3-star archer. Where like Robin Hood and David are going a bit above and beyond, right? What you would expect out of a 3-star archer. Then Ku is definitely going beyond what you would expect out of a 3-star lancer, and so it's just... It's a little unfortunate. I would like Billy to be a bit stronger than he is, but maybe someday. Like, generally a 70 Robin will outperform an 100 Billy if they're both working in like a team, a budget scenario, right? Now, some of that's because there's better budget support for Robin than there is for Billy. Like, that really is part of it, but still... overall, Robin at 70 is more useful to you generally than Billy at 100. And I like Robin, actually. Robin is super cool, but it's a little obnoxious because, you know, I'm a really big Billy fan and, like, god damn, can we get a buff for my boy here. Okay, let's maybe try this one at neutral just cuz. But who shall we use? Jesus Christ! Alright, you know what? We'll use that. That's a thing. I mean, it doesn't really matter with or without the command code. Also, there's no excuse for not having a poison command code on Robin. People used to come up with these, like, basically there were people that didn't really like Robin and they were always trying to say Uriel's better, and so they'd come up with any excuse to try to justify that, like, Robin's not that great. And they would almost always bring up the, you know, poison. Never mind that a lot of enemies don't have magic resist, or if they do, it's really low, and his poison's only a 5-turn cooldown, and there's like 5 million poison command codes. But then they were always like, well, what if you didn't have any of those poison command codes? You can literally get 2 of them, like, for free, no matter what. Even if you started playing the game a week from now, there's 2 that are like always available no matter what, right? And then respecking command codes is free now, right? Doesn't take resource anymore. So even if you're like a big, what's her name, Serenity, you know, if you're a big Serenity fan, right, but if you go and fight a hard boss that you need Robin for, you can just switch the poison around, right? So there's no excuse anymore. Just, you could always have it. I just finished playing Edmond for 5 hours in Melty. Yeah, he looks pretty good in that game. Cool moveset. I saw everyone was like excited for Ushi, but yeah, Edmond's the good bit there, in my opinion. I wish I liked Melty Blood more, but I honestly, I really mean this from a gameplay standpoint, an overall roster standpoint. Now, maybe other than Edmond, but I like Melty Blood Actress again more than the new one. Like, obviously the new one has better graphics, and that's nice. But in terms of like gameplay, balance, roster selection, I think Actress Again is just the better game. And that makes the new one very disappointing to me. Now, Edmond is awesome, and that is a pretty big point in the new one's favor, but that doesn't undo all the gameplay stuff. I mean, I don't think Ushi's any weirder than, like, any other character. You know, it was pretty weird doing Shiki in Actress Again. You know, they're just having fun with the Tymoon stuff, which is fine. Like, we've got fucking Karen in F-Go. I don't really care. You know, I'm not like the biggest Ushi fan, but, you know, I don't care. Now, on the other side of it, though, I will say I do think they need to add more characters from the older Melty Blood games as well. Like, by all means, add in, you know, crossover characters. They've always done that, and that's always something people enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. But they really are lacking a lot of the cast from the prior games. So, that is annoying. But I mean, they could add a Reshigal, for God's sakes, and I wouldn't really care. They can do whatever they want. But yeah, it's not even just about the roster, though. It's, I just like Actress Again's gameplay better. I think it's better overall. I don't like hate Melty Bloods, but yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's mid. Alright, do I want an invulnerability now? We got 3 waves to get through. I think I remember this stage. I think it's 3 giant ghosts. Yeah, I think I need to cast this. Do I NP? If I NP, I need my 3rd skill, which will whiff some of it, but I think it's worth casting now. Shame I didn't have more stars. The rainbow chain stuff really helps her. Anasu pulls a lot of bullshit out of his ass, to be honest, to justify things, like, in both ways. It's not like really anything has made sense. I mean, for God's sakes, we have Fujino as a servant in FGO, and that is... And their logic for that was they created a new system that they had never mentioned in Time Moon before, and they'll probably never mention again, and it's basically Heroic Spirit Militia. And like that's basically what it is. Like a thrown together militia because of an emergency, but they never mentioned that before. They're never probably going to mention that again. They just made it up to put Fujino in FGO, which is fine, but then stop trying to act like any of this shit makes sense to begin with, so... Because obviously, like, Shiki and Fujino do not meet the criteria to be counter guardians or heroic spirits. And they're aware of that, and that's why they just made up a bunch of nonsense to make them playable. Which again, that's not even the world's biggest deal. It's just you can't then, on the flip side, act like you can't add Zeus or something because it wouldn't make sense. It's like, none of this shit made any sense to begin with. Like, Chaldia inherently doesn't make sense in the overall Nasu-verse. Like, not even a little bit. They made that shit up. Man, Electrical is disgusting, by the way. I like how we're looping without any problem here and doing a lot of damage. The only thing that's messing us up is the wave transitions, because we're going to lose our buffs. We'd be doing better if we were just fighting one ginormous ghost that had all the HP of these 3 combined. $200 overcharge. So she has a 50% battery right there, but honestly, I don't think we need it. I think we just go Ooga Booga mode here and fuck looping. Yeah, her art card, especially if it crits, is wild. And Beastly's got the 150% star absorb on the art card, so its crit chance is pretty good. 60k at neutral. Pretty good. I guess she's one other Lancer we could try against Gwen, but I don't think she'd have that. Like the fact that 120 Lolly Dragon didn't do it makes me think that Ereshkigal is definitely not gonna do it, but you never know. She's still strong enough that she's worth trying. Honestly, we'd probably just justify it with, like, the difference between Tsukihime timelines and Fate timelines, and be like, oh yeah, well, see, familiars in these timelines, right, you can always just make up stuff like that, so. The best is the moon. Like, they fucked up so much with the moon, and they were just like, yeah, no, don't pay too much attention to that. Because, like, there is such a conflict between, like, the established lore about the moon and Tsukihime and Melty Blood, etc., and then Fate Extra. Like, there's no getting those things in sync. So they were just like, yeah, don't pay too much mind to this. And the only time they even mentioned that conflict, they were just so vague about it, and they were just like, yeah, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Something different timelines. Alright, who do we want to use now? Lancelot is an awfully bad solo unit. Wonder what we're fighting right now. You know what? Let's go with Calamity Jane. We haven't used her in forever. She is going to need a better setup than that, though. Hold on. Oh, why can't she get a costume where she's normal? Never gonna happen, though. And for real, people have joked about this, but this is accurate. If for whatever reason they actually did give Calamity Jane a costume where she was more normal, they wouldn't be bothered to change her attack animations, so she'd still have a rainbow gun and all that nonsense. So there's no fixing it, and she's not popular enough for them to put any like real effort into her anyway. She's actually one of the least popular characters from what I've seen. I think she's actually the least popular female character. I'm not sure about like in total, because you've got like Phantom of the Opera and Blood Axe and stuff, but I don't know. I've always said this. Blood Axe is probably more popular because he's so unpopular, right? He's like popular because of that, if that makes any sense. Alright, she's going to benefit massively from the quick change because it'll make it easier for her to make 50 stars. And if she has 50 stars, she can activate her strongest version of her third skill. So that's no joke. Let's see, we'll give her Star Bomb as much as possible then. I don't know what we're actually fighting. I have a feeling there's going to be debuffs because there normally is in Lostbelt 6. So I'm going to at least bring one debuff clear. I don't know what to put on her Buster card. She can kind of do whatever. We'll do heal. Seriously, why are Calamity Jane's pants two different colors? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is some Zoomer shit, I swear. There we go, heal boost. Alright, we're ready. Hopefully we're actually fighting a single target, otherwise this is going to be a catastrophe. Yeah, I like Phantom of the Opera. Like, you, me, and like 2 other guys, and that's pretty much it. Okay, we'll do that. I think some of the least popular characters are Calamity Jane, Blood Axe, Phantom, Galatea, and like Karen, surprisingly enough. Probably a couple other ones in there though that are pretty resident sleeper. Okay, if I remember correctly, this fight ends when you break the bar because no fun allowed. Guessing it's evade every turn, like 1 hit every turn or something. She'll be fine for that though. She's got Pierce and Vulnerability if she makes enough stars. Well, that's good enough. What do you mean Leonidas is still alive? God damn it, game. I could have NP'd and done everything nice and smooth. Well, guess we do that. Yeah, Super Bunyan's not that popular either, but I'm pretty sure she's more popular than Calamity Jane. Like, definitely. Yeah, Calamity Jane was planned for America, but she got cut, probably just because they didn't have enough time. Yeah, funnily enough, when they added America, that's when they added Billy and Geronimo, and they came, their voice lines had files, like if you data mine them, they had files for Calamity Jane. But when they finally did add Calamity Jane Ray later, they never used those voice lines. But those like voice lines didn't really make any sense anymore. I think they like had a different idea in mind for Calamity Jane back then. Like she wasn't going to be part of the Serpent universe and all that. She was just going to have the design. Also, they had data mined her Final Ascension art, which was actually different back then. It was the same design, but the picture was different. And yeah, Saber Deermid was supposed to be in America as well, and that clearly didn't pan out. And I think they just switched to Lancer Deermid just so they didn't have to finish the Saber one. Yeah, that one's really funny because generally you have to contact like animation studios way in advance because it takes a long time for them to do stuff. So they clearly I think it was A1 that made the trailer for America, and they clearly contacted them, and at the time they were planning on using Saber Deermid, so they shared the design and, you know, said to put him in the trailer. But then between them telling them that and then actually making America, you know, he got cut, and but then the trailer was too late to change it, so Saber Deermid he's just randomly in the trailer for the America Singularity, but he's not fucking in it. It's so silly. But yeah, Calamity Jane also was probably going to be in it, and they both got cut. And then they revisited Deermid a lot sooner than they revisited Calamity Jane, so... But that's just a practicality of game development. Things get cut for all kinds of reasons. It can be money, it can be time, it can just be them going a different direction with, you know, like the story or whatever. Like, there's all kinds of reasons why things can get cut. Although with Saber Deermid especially, I'm pretty sure he just got cut because of time. Because you could have just used Saber Deermid in place of Lancer Deermid in the story, and like nothing would have really changed. So, but yeah, the America Singularity is not very good for sure. Like I will say the story's a little bit better than the Singularities before it in terms of structure. Like it really is. Now it's not amazing. There's still like no respect for the individual units like toolkits, like lore wise. When they're like fighting in the story bits, none of it makes any sense. You know, it's still kind of like ABC, but it's a little bit better. Things happen without like the player being involved all the time. You know, there's some fights that happen like between people that you're not involved in, and you know, it's got a little bit more meat on its bones, and the gameplay's a little bit better. You know, obviously Camelot's the real step up, but America was a step in the right direction for the game for sure. But then it got like much better after that. Okay, no need to do our attack down, crit down if I'm doing a vulnerability here, so I guess I just, do this number. $68K, not too bad, no crit there. Alright, how many stars are we gonna get off of one crit? 53, that is more than enough. Well, you still need the command codes. That's nice though that she can... Before, the only way she could really make 50 stars is if you brought a CE that made stars per turn, and or you got overkill or overgauge, right? So if you're fighting an enemy with 3 health bars, if you NP'd and broke, and then overgauged the quicks and stuff, then you could still make 50. But that was, you know, not really reliable, so it wasn't great. Where now you can do it reliably, which is pretty nice. You still need the command codes though. You still need to do a quick chain. Like there's still ways that it won't happen. You still have to work for it. And in a team setting, it's still kind of shaky. But you don't actually have to get every single one of her buffs though for this skill to be good. Really, if you just make like 40 stars, it's good, and sometimes even 30 is enough. So it's not that big of a deal, and it's actually a fun skill. It's actually really unique, so... I guess I rainbow here. Focus on NP gain, although maybe that's too much NP gain. I haven't used her in a while, so I'm kind of forgetting what our NP gain is like. Well, that's plenty. Okay, I probably could have done it. Yeah, I definitely could have done a different combo there. Although he could NP drain me. Oh fuck, that's right, the stage ends. God damn it, game. We were just getting going. They're just afraid of my Pearson vulnerability is all. Actually, if you were doing like Calamity Jane, Robin Hood against a Saber boss, right? He could do that. Like, if you had a Saber boss where they had invulnerability a lot, so Calamity Jane's gonna give Robin Hood the Pierce, and then Mozart's good anyway, and it makes the 50 stars for you, so yeah, that can work. Probably just more of the Shadow Blobs. Most of the Avenger fights are those guys. What shall we use? Kinda want to use Percival. Can he get away with no command codes? Let me at least give him, like, a heal boost or something. Gotta have my boy Percival have a good showing here. Like the one good thing in Lostbelt 6. Although I massively prefer the Percival that you summon over the Percival in Lostbelt 6. Because they're not the same. I guess stars on his art card is fine. I'll at least bring a debuff clear as well because I have a feeling it's going to be dot bullshit. Guess I'm giving Percival all command codes now. I'm committed. I've already given him so many. Really, I could probably set it up where I could put my other account on my main monitor. That way I'm actually streaming something when I'm doing this. I have no idea what to put on his other Buster card. Just generic heal, that'll work. Oh, of course I have to bring a bunch of stupid bullshit. God damn it. Get these clowns off my team. I can bring Chin Gong, but like that only does so much here. Man, why they gotta run everything like that? Well, I guess we're doing a team thing. Get Stheno some bond. I still can't believe I forgot to redeem my 4-star ticket on this account. I could have gotten Stheno coins that way, and I just didn't. I mean, pretty much none of them are the same, like, in Lostbelt 6. Well, I mean, Tristan's the same. Gwen and Lancelot are the same, although they're not in it very much. But pretty much everyone else is not like their normal self at all. Like, not even red hair. Let's see here. Oh, I guess Ku is regular Ku. Let's see. I guess I just NP right now. How much refund will we get? We got both of our art cards, so I think we're gonna loop. Not much problem here. Normally have his NP in slow-mo, but it doesn't carry over to support. Kind of messed up. Even if on your own account you got your Percival set to slow-mo and you summon a friend's Percival, it'll be in fast mode. Damn it, we didn't break there. Now I'm gonna have to NP again for 1,000 health. Probably should have incorporated Castoria into that art chain. Oh, you mean, yeah, out of the new characters, Percival's the only one. Well, that's because, Nasu apparently, you know, really didn't like, Morgan's design going with evil Morgan, so that's like a whole thing. And then I don't think Sith and Burgess exist in, normal, history. Well, they probably do in some capacity, but, probably like very different designs and that kind of thing. But yeah, it is kind of funny that they were going to use regular Morgan, and then Nasu just didn't like using that. He's like, the design's too good for her, essentially. So then he made OC waifu. Yeah, Percival, though, they couldn't really do that because they've established too much like typical Knight of the Round Table lore not to make the summonable one the regular Percival. That would just be way too messed up. Yeah, she'd probably just be like a, you know, Phantasma Beast or whatever the fuck, something like that, I would expect. Although, if they wanted to, like, they could just make up some bullshit. Like, seriously, if they just wanted to add Burgess from regular human history, they would just find a way to, you know, have a design like that. So, I mean, it's all bullshit anyway. But logically, she should be very different in normal history. I mean, I'm sure they could have struck financial gold a lot of ways when it comes to Morgan, to be honest. But yeah, I'm sure they're not complaining. He's been very successful, though. I saw that one guy, though, and it's small sample size. I mean, it was, I guess, a large sample size in one sense. Because he had a lot of votes. But anyway, there was a poll on Twitter this guy did where Jolter actually beat Morgan in popularity, which is believable, but it was close. So obviously there's like a bias because it was on Twitter and that guy's user base, and you know, if you actually polled every Fate fan that's ever existed, not just on the internet, you know, the results could be different. But it wouldn't surprise me if Jolter is ultimately more popular, though. And I will say this, and this I think does seal the deal for Jolter, because maybe if you polled, you know, a different website or whatever, maybe Morgan would win, but it's probably still be close. But I think something that really does seal the deal with ultimately Jolter being more popular is, like, Morgan has a lot, like, unfairness in her favor right now. More recency bias, been in the main story, you know, more recently. She's more in the forefront, and that's like a known thing. People are very biased to things that are like newer, right? So let's say they made a new story, Lostbelt 8 or whatever, and Jolter was a major character again. It would swing in her favor, you know, even harder, obviously. So the fact that Jolter's doing that well and looking actually more popular than Morgan, when Morgan has like more recency bias and is in the main story and all that, that shows just how bullshit popular Jolter is. Yeah, I don't like Morgan. I've always said that she's way too on the nose. Like, I honestly think if you like look at Lostbelt 6 and then you look at her bio and everything, it's just so forced. It's way too over the top. And there are some characters that you could actually do that with and be over the top with it, and it would make sense. Morgan's not one of them. Even though like the Lostbelt OC version of Morgan, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just too much for me. But you know, it's not a crime, right? It's just a fucking fictional character. But yeah, it's definitely not my cup of tea. Yeah, Ricky's just really popular. I don't know what the hell is happening with that, but yeah, Ricky is really popular. Can you imagine if they make a fucking anime that he's in? Like, because generally the animes make characters way more popular because people don't read, right? So, yeah, if they ever, like, put Ricky in an anime proper and it's got good production value and all that kind of stuff, Ricky is just going to get so goddamn popular, dude. Yeah, Karna is really popular, and that's in spite of being in Fate APOC. He like, makes APOC a lot better, so... And Karna's always been popular. I've had multiple real-life friends that have like been into Fate, but like not as into it as I am. And when they saw Karna's design, they didn't like him. I've had multiple real-life friends like that. They saw Karna's design and like, I don't like that. But then when they actually saw Karna like in the games, in the anime and stuff, they were like, okay, now I like Karna. I've had so many people I know have that reaction, where they're like, man, his design's weird. And they're like, oh my god, he's the best. I can read Skip just fine. Yeah. I don't blame people for. Dude, there's this section of the community that just acts like the Fate stories are just this like, you know, Lord of the Rings, you know, just God's gift to literature, and I'm like, what on earth are you talking about? You know, I enjoy the Fate universe and whatnot, but I have no delusions of grandeur here, right? And FGO especially has problems, right? Because like I like my brother, for example, he really likes Fate Zero, and he doesn't like some of the other Fate stuff as much, but he still likes the other Fate stuff, right? He's enjoyed like all the anime they've put out and stuff. And then he tried to enjoy FGO's story. He tried to read it, and he was just like, "This is shit." And like a lot of people have that reaction, right? It's really not that good. Like it is very video gamey. You know, it is very cart before the horse. It is very noticeably. You know, even FGO at its best is still nothing to write home about, right? But you know, I still enjoy the universe, and it's just fun seeing the different characters and, you know, things to come up with for like their abilities and the gods and stuff like that. So you know, I enjoy it, but yeah, I certainly don't think it's like some amazing work of literature by any means. Yeah, I know some people really think Nasu is just like this perfect writer that never pulls shit out of his ass and stuff like that. It's like, what are you talking about? And like, he's even made fun of himself about doing that kind of stuff multiple times. Like, I don't think Nasu's taking it that seriously, right? He's just doing his thing, and I respect that. That's the thing. I don't actually have like a personal beef with Nasu. Now, his style of doing things is certainly not to my liking, but Nasu never acts like he's, you know, some god of writing. You know, he pokes fun at himself all the time. And yeah, he's just over there doing his own shit, and then the fans are just on like raw copium, right? Acting like the man can, you know, is like this perfect writer or something. It's just like, what the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, this is this. There's no fun allowed on this one. She like has to get the killing blows, or the enemies like get guts and keep coming back or whatever. I don't even know if we bother really summoning anything here. I'll just put something in the back row for, I'll give myself FP, you know, the classic. What I do generally, I don't read every bit of story in FGO anymore, I really don't. Like, a lot of it is just, I've played this game for so long, it's like, there's just schlock and schlock and more schlock, so I'm just like, whatever. What I generally do is, I'll read the main story. Although I never actually read all of 6.5, I never did. I read parts of it. I read some of the key chapters that I really cared about, but I just read summaries for the other bits. I just did not care enough, honestly. And actually, same for 5.5. I did read a good chunk of it, but I didn't read all of 5.5 either. But anyway, yeah, the 0.5 suck. It just is what it is. Anyway, I generally read the main story, and then I'd say maybe 50% of the time I'll read summaries for the events, and then like 40% of the time I won't even do that, and then like 10% of the time I'll actually read the events. But yeah, a lot of the time I either just read a summary of the event story, or I don't even do that because I just do not care, because a lot of the event stories suck. And then there's a few events though that I have read, because there are a few of them that I actually go a bit above and beyond, but and I think 5.5 is pretty bad. It had no reason to be a full story. It was a filler arc fleshed out into a story just to buy them time, right? It was just filler nonsense. I actually like Arknights' story better than FGO's in a lot of ways. Now, I like the setting of FGO more, like the characters more in FGO, all that kind of stuff, but Arknights, especially in recent times, I think has done a better job of just writing stuff that's not a pain to read. Although early Arknights is not really any better. I don't know. Early Arknights is probably better than early FGO, but early Arknights is certainly not as good as like modern FGO. The Doorman is so irrelevant in the overall story of the Lostbelt stuff. Like, nothing that happens in 5.5 matters at all. It literally doesn't matter. And if you didn't stop him, one of the other Lostbelts would have. It does not fucking matter. And, like, Doorman just does not matter. And Anabushi, my god, 53 months. Thank you, dude. Favorite Arknights event story is definitely the Rainbow Six one, actually. That one was awesome. Like, they did a lot of world building. That was so surprising to me that they used the Rainbow Six collab, and because they had characters that had nothing to do with Arknights and knew nothing about it, that gave them a good excuse to do like a lot of explanation and world building that wasn't bullshit. And they ended up like they did some really cool stuff with that, and just there's good character interactions anyway. But like they really hinted at like that Arknights world is probably our world, but like, you know, way in the future or something. Because they're even like, man, these people are speaking a language that sounds very similar to like a really old dialect from, you know, the one region and whatnot, right? They just do a lot of stuff with that was pretty interesting. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed that one. It was good character stuff. Fucking Rangers got to be in it, so that was nice. So favorite story in FGO. Now, from gameplay, it's Lostbelt 5.2. Like, absolutely. Like, that, not even close. Like, that was the best gameplay in FGO. Now, from a pure story standpoint, I don't know. There's probably Lostbelt 1 when I think about it. Because, like, Lostbelt 1 worked really well because, first off, it was a bit more flushed out. There was a bit more, like, character stuff going on because it's directly linked to the prologue, right? So there's a bit more meat there, right? There's, like, some actual build-up and... so it's kind of nice to see like a new story that you're going into have connections to something that happened prior, and it's not just, you know, a self-contained standalone thing, right? So that was nice. And it just had good characters, good pacing. They respected people's lore abilities pretty well. Most of the stuff that happens makes sense. The stuff with Antonio at the end is like actually good. Right, like that, yeah, I'd 5-1, yeah, I think it's 5-1, I think, not 5-1, Lostbelt 1, excuse me. 5-1 is really good characters, though. I don't think its story was very good, but its characters are really good. But yeah, I think, Lostbelt 1 is probably my favorite story. Not my favorite gameplay, though, by any means, right? The gameplay's okay, but it's pretty whatever. If we could have the story of Lostbelt 1 with the, gameplay of 5-2, I'd be very happy. Yeah, 5-1 a lot of people like, but I don't mind it. I'm kind of split on it, right? I do like the characters. You got Ricky and Orion, Jason, right? All that stuff's great, but the story's pretty garbage, and it's super filler, right? They just spawned Atlantis out of the ether to have an excuse to prevent you from going to Olympus, right? And you can feel that through the entire story. It is a very standalone story that has nothing to do with anything. Right? It's literally just an excuse to have an obstacle in your way before you go to where you're actually going to. And that hurts it a lot. What I would really prefer is we have Jason and Ricky and all these awesome characters and stuff in Olympus instead, right? You could have had a lot of those character beats and character development. You could have the Orion, what's her name, Bob, Artemis stuff. You could have had that in Olympus. Right, and that would have made the stakes in Olympus even higher, right? Because Olympus is where like the important stuff happens. That's where like stuff with Wadim happens, and you know a lot of big stuff with the overall story happens. There's a lot of build up to it. So if you could have had that with this, like the characters and stuff with 5-1 and like with you know the drama and everything, that would have been really, really good. So honestly, Greece could have been my favorite story in FGO. It really had the potential for that. Because you know, who doesn't like Greek mythology? Don't kid yourself. Everyone likes fucking Greek mythology, right? It's awesome. A lot of Greek characters in Fate that people already like Hercules and Achilles and stuff, and the new characters. And you know, Jason and stuff. So the potential for, and then with Wadim, all the build up to Wadim and everything, that could have just been the best fucking story ever. But because they like fragmented it like they did, it's kind of hit and miss for me. So yeah, I do really like 5-2 and I really like 5-1, but they have different pros and cons. So it's up there. You know, I would put Lostbelt 5 in general up there, right? It's high on my list, but I think from a pure writing standpoint and everything, I'd probably have to give it the 1, Lostbelt 1. Alright, let's see here. But I do like 5.1 and 5.2. Like, the only issue I really have with 5.2 is, like, the overall cast is just not as good as 5.1. Now, there's some exceptions. Wadim is awesome, like, and stuff. It's not like there's not good, characters in 5.2. There is. But the overall cast isn't as good, and there wasn't really a need for, like, a changing of the guards like that, right? I think they could have put 5.1 and 5.2 together, the way the stories are, because so much of what happens in 5.1 isn't important, so they could have used, like, that character resource in 5.2 and it wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, a lot of the cast in 5.2 is holograms. Yeah, and they're actually awesome characters, but they're used so poorly. I mean, they're used so poorly. It's like, honestly, it's not like 5.2 couldn't have been great on its own with its cast. It's just it was used really badly. Yeah, the twins suck. But there is good stuff. 5.2 is still good. Zeus is awesome. I mean, I don't, even the people that don't like Zeus that much, I think will still admit he is a good villain, right? Like, it's Zeus, right? I mean, it's fucking Zeus, right? He is such a good, like, shadow over the story of the Lostbelt. As soon as you know Zeus is in a Lostbelt, you know that's going to be a big thing. It's like a big thing on the horizon all of the time, right? And they did a good job of making him that kind of asshole and everything, right? So Zeus was a really good antagonist. I wish he had more screen time leading up to him, but he does have some. But Zeus was awesome, Wadim was awesome, Canis was good. Caligula was good, although not enough screen time, that kind of stuff. And then the stuff with Mars was awesome, right? Like there's plenty of good stuff in 5.2, but it's still not the best like use of characters by any means. Its pacing is kind of rushed, I would say. Yeah, even if you don't like Zeus, he's a very good antagonist, right? Like very, very much so. Like, I don't think anyone was like, man, that was so unsatisfying fighting Zeus, right? Like, I don't think anybody really said that. Do I have Mozart on this account? Do I not have Mozart on this fucking account? Oh yeah, I keep remembering. This account, I made a conscious decision not to level Mozart because I always level Mozart, and I regretted it. I was like, yeah, we'll just do something different for the sake of being different, and I have completely regretted that every step of the way on this fucking account. I'm gonna have to rectify that at some point. Yeah, self-sabotage. And originally I didn't level Ku, and then I was just like, okay, fuck this, we're leveling Ku. And we leveled Proto-Ku and Baldi first, and then Baldi was just so fucking bad that that did not stay. That didn't stick. Back row really isn't going to matter, I don't think. Nice faux items, by the way. But really, when it comes to Fate, nothing in FGO is at the top of my list. It just isn't. I've enjoyed FGO a lot, and there's some cool character moments and all that, but like, I like Fate Zero more than everything in FGO by a absolute fuckload. I mean, it's not close. Like, I like Lostbelt 1 a lot, story-wise and everything, but it does not hold a candle to Fate Zero, like, not even a little bit, right? It's not in the same ballpark. And even for like Fate Strange Fake, right now Fate Strange Fake got like way more than FGO. I will say though, that last book of Fate Strange Fake, last volume, whatever you want to call it, I did not like very much. So I'm a little worried, right? That was a big dip for me. So I'm a little concerned about where Fate Strange Fake is heading. But we'll see. I hope it's good. I've enjoyed it overall, but yeah, the last chunk of it I've been kind of about. So we'll see. So I've been kind of on the new Gundam. And I gotta say, I don't think it's a good entry point into the Gundam franchise, just because I think it's kind of a bad foot forward. But I mean, it's got a decent, production value, that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's my gripes with the new Gundam. So, one, it feels like an outrageously small universe, right? Most of the Gundam shows feel like a very flushed out, world, right? It has moving parts, right? The new Gundam show feels very gimmicky. It feels like something like Hunger Games or something like that. It's so gimmicky and not very believable. And it's Fire Emblem Three Houses but Gundam, right? And I'm not a fan. It feels very contrived and silly, and it all boils down to just LOL school drama, and then resolve it with a Monster of the Week duel between two characters, and then there's some overarching stuff with corporation bullshit, and that's it. That is just so lame in comparison to a lot of the other Gundam shows. Now it might get better, right? It might, once they kind of get out, maybe they're not going to stay in school forever, and they're using this kind of Monster of the Week format to just show off the characters, and then they'll start using them more organically. But the show feels very contrived. It feels very small. It feels, again, Fire Emblem Three Houses but Gundam, and that's not what Gundam needs to be in the slightest. And yeah, it just feels very dumb. That's how I feel it's dumb. The whole school setting and everything being resolved by a fucking duel and all that. It's stupid. And it just feels so small, right? Normally Gundam has lots of mechs and factions, and they got their grunts, and have the aces with their grunts and fighting the other grunts and the other aces, and there's none of that, right? It's so tiny right now, and yeah, I don't like the cast very much. I like what's his name, Gruul or whatever. He's the only good character. I mean that. The rest of the cast is either completely forgettable or lame, right? They just suck. So yeah, I really have been pretty negative about the new Gundam, but there's a chance, right? I'm going to try to keep an open mind. It may get better as it goes. That has absolutely happened before with Gundam. They've definitely had Gundam shows that take a while to pick up steam, and then they end up getting a lot better. It could definitely be that way. And yeah, Gil's still in Face Strange Fake, but they're not really clear what they're going to do with him. But Iron-Blooded Orphans, right? Season 1 was kind of whatever. I wasn't really that into it. But then Season 2 really picked up and made it way better. And now I like overall, Iron-Blooded Orphans is one of my favorite Gundams. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's up there. And that's almost exclusively because of how Season 2 expanded on it, so... Because if it was just Season 1 of Iron-Blooded Orphans, I wouldn't give a fuck about it. I mean, the thing is, they don't really have any economic world building. It's economics for morons, right? It's they're trying to act like it's a big thing. It's not. That's not how corporations work. That's not how humans work, right? It doesn't ring true at all. It is so gimmicky, right? And it's so dumb. All the corporations are just houses from Fire Emblem, right? Essentially, and they're behaving in just such a gimmicky way. That's not how economics work. In the slightest. This is a thing in a lot of young adult fiction, right? Where they do it really reminds, like I said, of what is it called, Hunger Games. They make these very gimmicky worlds, and everything has these stupid titles, right? In the Gundam's case, it's what the title holder or whatever, right? They do shit like that, and for some reason, youngins eat this shit up. And it is so bullshit. That is not how the world operates. That's not how humans function at all. That's not how corporations work. That's not how organizations work, right? It's dumb, right? Yeah, that's actually one of my biggest problems with it. It's such bad world building. It's just typical, young adult fiction gimmicky crap. It's very gimmicky, right? It's not very... It does not ring true to how people behave. And whatnot, and yeah, I'm not a fan. Where I think a lot of prior Gundam has been better than that. Now, not all. I mean, there's a lot of bad Gundam shows out there. I mean, fucking, you got V Gundam out there. Let's not get into that one. But I think a lot of other Gundam shows have done a lot better job of having their organizations and their factions and stuff behave in a significantly more human way. Like, even though, like, UC Gundam's not my favorite, I think UC is just a million times better at that, where this new Gundam is just super gimmicky. Like, it's just so unbelievable. And I don't mean unbelievable as in awesome, I mean unbelievable and as it doesn't ring true. Yeah, so the creator of Victory Gundam even said, don't watch Victory Gundam. So, yeah, that tells you how bad that one is. I mean, pretty much everything about the new Gundam show is just horseshit. Again, it's like young adult fiction, and the worst aspects of it. But it could get better, like I said, it could absolutely get better. You know, they'll probably not be in this dumbass school setting forever, and that might turn things around. I don't know why I didn't pass that last turn. I mean, for Mecha, Armored Core is my favorite by a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Armored Core is like my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite video game, absolutely. But I still like Gundam a lot. I mean, it's got its downsides, but like I really like Gundam 0080. You know, 8th MS Team minus the love story. You know, Iron Blood, especially Season 2, right? There's a lot of Gundam out there that I do really like, but Armored Core is definitely the king for Mecha for me, and I could not be happier about Armored Core coming back, because I didn't, you know, for a long time there, I don't think Armored Core fans were really sure we were ever going to see it again. So, yeah, I'm glad we're back in business, if you will. It took a minute, though. But yeah, back on Fate, we got a little off topic there. But back on Fate, yeah, Fate Zero is definitely my favorite. And then yeah, if I could like list out my favorites of all the Fate stuff, FGO wouldn't really be on the list for a while, I don't think. But we'll see if they make a Lostbelt 1 anime, which I hope happens. There's certainly potential there for it to be really good, right? If they like expand on it and make it even better than the visual novel segments were. It could really be something. I am worried, though, that if they make Lostbelt 1, it's basically going to be like Babylonia was. Because I don't think Babylonia was a very good adaptation, I'm going to be honest. You know, the production value was okay, but it wasn't as good as like Fate Zero or Unlimited Blade Works' production value by any means. And then they didn't flesh out the characters at all. Like, there was a lot of stuff in the visual novel of Babylonia that was very, you know, video gamey, very brief, very shallow, very ABC. There's a lot of video gamey, like, tropey stuff in Babylonia. And they didn't really flesh any of that shit out to be better in the anime, like, at all. So, yeah, that wasn't great. And like they cut a lot of stuff that I was really bad for it, right? They cut all the stuff with like Tiamat, like with her like actual self being heavily implied to not want to be doing all the mass murder stuff, and like Ben-K, all the stuff with Ben-K that they cut, right? So I don't actually like the Babylonia adaptation, right? I think a lot of people just like Babylonia, and any adaptation they're fine enough with. But yeah, I don't think it was that good. They didn't really expand on. They didn't flesh it out. You know, it's as basic as it was, if not more basic. And then they cut a lot of stuff and changed stuff that I don't think really behooved it very much. Now there were some changes that were good. It's not like everything they did was bad, but yeah, if Lostbelt 1 is kind of in the same spirit of that, I don't think it'll be that good, to be honest. But we shall see. I mean, you don't need to be a whale to do shit in FGO. Literally all I do on YouTube and Twitch is do free-to-play stuff in FGO, and I do just fine, I would say, so... You know, FGO has many flaws, but being pay to win is not one of them. Yeah, actually, I would agree. I would say being too big of a whale actually makes the gameplay worse. Now, being somewhat of a whale, I don't think will do that. Like, yeah, if you're just like super whaling and you're crazy min-maxing, I think the game actually becomes really trivial and boring, and a snooze fest. But honestly, you can make, if you really try hard enough and you min-max enough, you can make the game pretty, am I missing something? I thought you're supposed to hit these with their NP and then they die. Or maybe I was supposed to kill them at the same time. That might be what it is. Seem to be forgetting what the fuck is going on in this stage. Alright, let's see here though. I think I need to NP, so I overcharge Castoria. Wait, not that one. Hit the other one. Yeah, I think we might need to kill him at the same time with her NP or something. Actually, a lot of the Lostbelts absolutely are not too long for movies. Like, no way. There's just so much filler drivel in Lostbelts. Like, I mean, seriously. Like, I don't think any of the FGO stories are too long to be a movie. Now, it need to be a well-made movie, well-paced. You'd have to make very intelligent changes to be able to encapsulate like character arcs properly and all that kind of stuff. Although not for all of them, honestly. Some of it, I mean, like Lostbelt 3 is a joke. I mean, there's like no character arcs going on for anybody there. But you know, some of it would be tricky. But most of the Lostbelts really would not be hard to put into movie format. They're just packed with filler, like so much irrelevant filler. We never needed her battery skill. Hit it super hard, and if this doesn't kill, I have no idea what the fuck we're supposed to do here. Yeah, actually, I would agree. Lostbelt 6, I think, would absolutely benefit from being trimmed down. There is so much horseshit filler in that has nothing to do with anything, and doesn't even do a good job of, like, you know, furthering the characters or anything. It's like that Shadow Chieftain bit in the forest. That is so irrelevant. Right? It's just irrelevant, right? And there's just so much stuff like that. And that's just Nasu's writing style, though. If you look at everything Nasu does, he just packs it with... he likes trying to incorporate, like, slice of life into, like, apocalyptic stakes. And I think it's terrible, to be honest. It doesn't work. But he like, Babylonia, you're like saving that dude's sheep or whatever the fuck. Like, you're doing all these, like, MMO side quests in Babylonia to, like, prove yourself to Gilgamesh, right? It's just so fucking stupid. There's so much stuff like that in Nasu's writing. He does, and if you go back and read Fate Stay Night, he does that too. There's all these, like, ridiculous scenes in Fate Stay Night that are just, like, trying to be very slice of lifey, and it's, like, so forced and out of place. And, like, look, humans aren't like sitting around in, like, you know, grim times just looking all moody all the time, right? Like, even in the world wars, you know, soldiers would find things to joke about and that kind of thing. But, like, it's not the same as, like, going to the mall or having a beach episode, right? If you look at what, like, soldiers do in grim times and stuff, it's very different than what humans do in their normal leisure time, right? It's very different. Right, and Nasu's writing just does not capture the mix between, like, what humans do in their downtime or when they try to lighten the mood or whatnot in grim times versus the actual grim times. He does not capture that balance in the slightest. He basically he just like inserts, you know, a beach episode into, you know, grim times. And it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work at all, right? And he does this constantly in his works. And yeah, I'm really not a fan of it. Nasu stands, like, say it adds character to, like, the characters, but yeah, I don't think so. I think it doesn't ring true at all, and it really just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, like, if you look at Nasu's writing in Fate Stay Night and Fate Hollow and all that, it's very much what he's doing. And he does that in Lostbelt 6, probably to a lesser degree, I would actually say, but he does it absolutely in Lostbelt 6. And he did it in Babylonia, and it's shite. I'm very much not a fan. And, like, here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with, like, slice of life stuff, but, like, Nasu is just trying to incorporate it somewhere where it just doesn't work. Right, and again, you can do a version of slice of life in a story that has, like, you know, high stakes and, you know, death and drama and all that. You can do that. You can have, you know, moments where it's just the characters you know, in a tavern, and you know, there's no monster to kill this week or whatever. That's fine, you can do that, but like Nasu's writing, I just don't think rings true for like the you know, again, it feels very like inserted. It feels like it was ripped out of you know, K-On! And just slapped in Fate, right? And it just does, it absolutely doesn't work. It's very, very forced. I mean, the thing about Fate Extra, I don't even like Fate Extra, but I can at least acknowledge that there's still some good character writing there. Like, there is some good character writing in Fate Extra. And generally, that's one of Nasu's strengths, is Nasu doesn't make two-dimensional characters that are like, you know, shit, right? He doesn't. He is good at making characters that are well fleshed out and have believable motivations and that kind of stuff. And there's no exception in FGO, he still writes good characters. And like, even though I don't like Nero, in Fate Extra, she's written a lot better, and like her character motivations are a lot more complex and believable than they are in a lot of like later stuff they've done with Nero. She turned into like an Umu bot, where, you know, before that she actually had some interesting characterization and stuff. So, you know, Fate Extra's setting and pacing and all that, I'm really not a fan of, but there is some good character writing there for like Robin and Nero and stuff like that. So there is good stuff there. But Nero is turned into like a complete shell of her former self. She got so popular, so. That's a very common sentiment though from Nero fans, that like she was written well in Fate Extra and now she's kind of a joke, which I would agree with. You know, I'm not even a Nero fan, but I agree. That's pretty much what happened. Okay, what are we doing now? Caster and a writer. Let's just bring a writer and see what happens. Yeah, sure, we'll use Anus here. Yeah, she's basically a fan service now. Yeah, like I was saying, it's not that it's wrong to have like slice of life writing and stuff like that, but it has to be put in the right story and stuff, right? Because honestly, I suspect if Nasu made a through and through slice of life story, he'd probably do a good job of it, because he does write good characters, right? Like he does make good three-dimensional characters, right? So, but he's just, for some reason, I don't think I'm reading between the lines here. I think anyone that's actually read a lot of Nasu's work can see what I'm talking about, right? Like if you look at the various things Nasu has written, he very much likes trying to like incorporate this just almost slapstick slice of life stuff with like in a very serious setting, and like this kind of, you know, back and forth thing. Like he does that all of the time in his work, and I just do not think it works. I really just do not think it works. And you get the chocolate bullshit in Lostbelt 6, and then look at Fate Hollow, right? Like, the whole premise is like this day and night thing where one's serious and one is like not even remotely serious. Like honestly, I didn't realize it for a while. I thought it was almost a coincidence. But yeah, when I remember when I looked at it, especially in FGO, I was like, you know, this is clearly a theme, right? Like if you look at, you know, Fate Stay Night with all like the dinner scenes and all this nonsense, and then, you know, Fate Hollow, and then doing the same thing in Babylonia and Lost Belt. I'm like, yeah, no, this is a pattern, right? Like, this is very much a pattern. It's totally fine to have downtime and that kind of thing. It's just, again, it's like almost slapsticky the way that people are behaving, and it's just so out of place for like what's going on in the universe and whatnot. And see, that's why Carnival Phantasma though is fine, because it doesn't have the actual stakes and whatnot. You know, it's through and through like a comedy and like a slice of life and whatnot, and that's fine. All we're gonna get here is our extra attack, but it's fine. Better than doing nothing. Last Encore is so bad. I think it's one of the worst things Fate has ever produced. And I truly don't think Nasu just knew how to lead an anime project. And like, if you look at his writing style and his history, you know, he works with long format stuff where you can like characterize characters and stuff. I just don't think his talent lends itself well to like a 12-episode anime. It just doesn't. It's just a mismatch, right? And yeah, because honestly, I think that fucking Last Encore is just it's almost amateur in how bad it is, right? Like with its pacing and, you know, its story structure and stuff like that. Like, I just don't think Nasu was cut out for that kind of thing. Very mismatched for his talent. Okay, Ku, can we stop casting PFA every turn? Can we not do that? Okay, he didn't cast it here, but he has double defense up, so that's gonna be a bit of a nightmare. I'll fire everything here. What do you mean there's no water here? No, we're like standing on the sea. It's snow, guys. It's totally the same thing. This crit spread. You know what? I'm gonna rainbow just so I guarantee crit and then make some stars for the next turn. I actually agree that I'm not memeing. I think the best part of Lost Encore is the opening. Like, it's actually an interesting what-if scenario anyway, and then Buddha is awesome. Because a lot of people don't know this, but basically in Fate Extra, Buddha is throwing, and this is not reading between the lines, this is what's happening. Buddha actually does not want to win. Buddha wants to lose, and he basically wants to teach his master a lesson. Hi, Cairo. But yeah, basically in Fate Extra, Buddha is throwing, and he wants to lose. And so you win, right? Because Buddha is outrageously OP, but yeah, he's throwing, so you win. And the opening of Last Encore is basically Buddha not throwing and kicking your ass, right? So that is an interesting, premise, but ultimately Last Encore is just the worst fucking Fate story that has like ever been produced. The only thing that gives it a run for its money is like, what do you call it? Septum. Also, I can't help but notice that I think we're gonna lose this stage because Ku has cast fucking PFA like every goddamn turn, so our damage was outrageously low here. Basically, Buddha is teaching his master a lesson. That's like the whole thing. But I mean, really, the better question is why would Buddha want to win? Like, when you actually look at what his master is doing in the context of what is going on, why on earth would Buddha actually want to win? Right? Like, why would he actually want to help his master, right? It wouldn't make any fucking sense. If I somehow kill both of these doggos, we might win, but that doesn't seem likely. Oh, bother. We didn't even What do you mean? Neither of those attacks crit. I had Buster up, like attack up, double crit up, fucking Buster chain bonus. And like we might have killed it. Like that is outrageous how much damage we missed out on. Like we had 2 crit buffs, but like holy shit, are you kidding me? Okay, let's try that one more time. Yeah, we're talking about Buddha screwing over his master by throwing, and then Canis over here is just not critting with anything. Thanks, champ. Give her another go. If she fails again, we might try, let's go default actually, but we might try a different unit here in a second. bloody doggos. Alright, one moment, let me get some water. Gotta hydrate. Alright, I'm back. Another interesting thing about Buddha, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been quite a while since I read Fate Extra Shenanigans, but Buddha's master, I think this is right, he isn't actually capable of summoning a servant, and he had like failed to summon a servant a bunch, and then Buddha, being Buddha, can be summoned. And Buddha's basically like taking pity on him, essentially. But he basically wants his master to kind of learn, if you will. Okay. Master hit pity before it was in the game. Yeah, something like that. I might be getting the details a little off, though. It's been a while since I read any of that. I have not played any of Xeno Chronicles or Xenogear or whatever the fuck. I get them all confused. All that like Switch RPG nonsense, never played any of that. Are we talking about like the deputy nonsense? I get some of my IP names confused. I think I'm confusing that with like, was it Xenoblade Chronicles? Which is like, I don't think that even, that actually does have Mecha in it, I think, but not like that much. I want to get both of them low, but then not kill them until he already has his NP, because he quick charges NP when they die. Xenogear and Xenoblade are the same universe? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to remember which game is... I'm getting my... I'm thinking of a completely different IP entirely. Like, I know what Xenoblade is, and I kind of forget which one Xenogear is. And then I'm thinking of something else entirely. But I've never played either, so it doesn't matter. Alright, God, this is so fucked. Like, I need to be able to kill both of these in the exact same turn. I think I need to NP this now, and then try to, like, get my NP again. Okay, if I can kill them next turn, that's good. I could maybe, I'm thinking, I might be able to NP this one and then kill this one with follow-up attacks. Then I could try to ping off PFA now. And if he recasts it, just fuck my life. I don't, cool, let's not cast PFA now. Let's just, you know, attack or something. Motherfucker. He's good. Alright, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna have triple crit up. I don't know if I need this attack up, but I really want to make sure this one dies. I actually think I can kill with art, and then I can get refund that way. Like, I have so much damage here that I should be able to kill. Okay, we just need Ku to not cast PFA on a turn. This is actually kind of fun, though. Guess I should make stars. A good time to actually break his PFA is when he's NPing. Because that forcibly takes away one of his actions. And if the dogs are still alive, he won't even have an action. Okay, if we don't kill him this turn, he might kill us. But we are counterclassing, so... Honestly, that was kind of fun, the way we had to deal with the dogs there. That was pretty unique. Oh, shit. Shit. If he casts PFA, though, we can still kill him with our extra attack. What? Did he just auto-cast it? The fuck? I think we might lose. Because he might kill himself, though, because he's got his thing. I'm not sure how the fuck this is gonna go. Was that just his third action? Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. I guess his guts... No, his guts doesn't proc until the next turn, I guess. That was close. That was close. Okay. Thank you, extra attack, though. Holy shit, though, he casts PFA a lot. Having sure hit would make that a lot easier. That was actually pretty fun, though, for a solo. This fight is set up in a way, though, that a team, like, gameplay, it'll be really boring, but for a solo, it's actually pretty neat. Although being AoE would make it a lot easier. Now, I know at some point we're gonna fight, like, Shadow, Arthur, that's coming up. This might be, like... I think you fight, like, Night Enforcers. Then you fight, like, Tristan. Like, Shadow Tristan or whatever. And then I think you fight Arthur. What would have been really funny is Proto-Ku, because he has anti-beast for the dogs. So that would have been a whole thing. This will be most fun if we don't use someone that like is neutral or countering a ruler. You know what? Let's give Ku a go. Let me give Ku proper command codes. Let me just put my main account on the monitor here. Screen is not sized correctly, but in the ballpark here. There we go. You know, I don't remember how the Arthur fight is. I know he gets a quick charge and there's another enemy there. I don't know how that would size up to Wayne. Probably easier, but I'm not sure. This is clearly not the right UI. Alright, if these are Enforcement Knights, which I think they are not servants. Are Enforcement Knights male? I think so? Let's find out. Well, also this song is driving me crazy. Let's go the anti-male command code and see. I think they're male. I can go with a pretty typical setup here. Ku literally is famous for killing a dog, by the way. They do have an attack up skill a lot of the time. Also, it just straight up depends on like what version of a dog or of Ku we're talking about. Like, people are just so bad about this. They like fuse all the versions of the stories and whatnot, and they act like it's one canon where it's just not. Like, Ku is portrayed very differently in different stories. And even in Fate, you know, they kind of just pick what they want to go with. You know, and that's that. Or they just make some shit up. They do that a lot too, actually. I actually like what they did with Zeus, though. They pretty much made it so the benevolent stories of Zeus they're using for, like, normal history Zeus, and the more tyrannical versions of Zeus they're using for Lostbelt Zeus. So that was kind of a decent way of kind of having your cake and eating it too there. Oh wait, let me get Ku a craft essence. You know, worthy of my favorite unit, you know, chat. Something that would be useful no matter what the circumstances are, because I don't know what the circumstances are here, right? So I need something that's gonna universally give me value, chat. If they have very high DPS, Atlas is best. If they don't, Default is best. If they cast skills a lot, Default is best. But if they have very high damage output and like my Guts procs quickly, then you want Atlas. And then you can be in low HP for a long time and do your Guts twice and get 6 turns of really high attack up. Which is better than the attack up from this. But if they don't have really high DPS, then this is probably better. Probably not debuffs. We'll go Atlas for now. I feel like Atlas is not as good for Ku as it used to be. I mean, it's still good. There's nothing bad about it, but like just with the way Ku has changed, like a lot of times default is just faster for him. They both work, and then default is faster. But if you do get really pushed, then Atlas is the way to go. Okay, if he had randomly got taunt, you could always clear it with this, so and save this. That's fine. Well, I guess this doesn't really do anything because he gave us taunt anyway. Thanks, game. That's a lot of HP, though, for some rulers. Still easier than fighting a saber, but it is different, though, because each independently has their own NP and that kind of thing, and then this one's going to have a sure hit. I guess you have to kill that one first, then, because as hard as Gwaine was, he did not have any kind of gimmick like that, although he did have burn and skill steal and all that, but we had a command code that countered skill seal. There is no command code that counters sure hits. We'll focus on damage. Who do you think is the most IRL accurate servant in Fate? Well, it kind of depends, because, again, when it comes to legends and stuff, there isn't one set version of the character, right? There just isn't, right? There is no, like, one take on Zeus. So yeah, that kind of complicates it a bit. And then you've got, obviously, real-life figures and stuff, which is, you know, more set in stone, although it depends on how old they are. Things can be lost to time. Off the top of my head, Gilgamesh is actually pretty good. He doesn't have the beard and that kind of thing, but his backstory and whatnot is extremely accurate. It's pretty much the Epic of Gilgamesh, but anime. So that's up there. I'm not sure that'd be number one, but it's certainly in the running. Definitely an honorable mention. Let me think. What else is there? Let me look at some servants here. Jog my memory. So, like, Sanson is an interesting take, but Sanson's ultimately not super accurate. They got the stuff right about him wanting to be a doctor and him being conflicted and all that, but, like, they give him the accomplishments of his son, right, which that makes no fucking sense. He didn't kill Antoinette, his son did. So he's, even though very interesting, and I think a really good take on Sanson, in a pure technicality way, he's not very accurate. Let's see. Oh, Billy. Actually, Billy's pretty accurate. Although there's a lot of stuff about Billy that's unknown and kind of lost to time, but I think he's a pretty reasonable take for the most part. They don't dig too deep into some of it though, but all the like stuff they imply and kind of hint at with his history and stuff is all pretty much accurate. I don't know if I'd say he's the most accurate though. I mean, Robin Hood is technically very accurate because there are many versions of Robin Hood, like with anything else, but they actually acknowledge that, and he's just one of many versions of the character, so that's technically very accurate. And they got the meeting tree correct and all that kind of stuff, which is actually a real-life tree. So that honestly, Robin Hood, they really did do a deep dive on that one. I wouldn't say it's necessarily accurate, though, just because, again, there's so many versions of Robin Hood, but they did their research, and it shows, so I'll give it that. Definitely not Mozart. I mean, there's certainly some accurate stuff with Mozart, but no, he's very a lot of anime extra stuff inserted in there. Not just like the powers, but like there's a lot of stuff that's just not accurate. Definitely not Alexander either. Iskander though does have a lot of references to the real man, and they did a good job with Iskander or Alexander the Great, however you want to put it, with like basically taking what he's famous for and a lot of stories about him, and then putting that all together and making a larger than life anime version of it. They did a great job of that. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the most accurate. Joan of Arc's not even slightly accurate. Now she's very accurate to what people see Joan of Arc as. But to what is actually like historically known and proven and like, you know, on the books, she's not even slightly accurate. But she's like the manifestation of how humanity views her, and they definitely nailed that correctly. But yeah, no, she's not even close to the real deal. There's some weebs that are actually fairly accurate, I would say. I mean, Gilgamesh really is standing out to me, though, as being very accurate. Not in terms of, like, his looks, but what the character's about, what's his history, like, the events that happened, what motivates him, how he's different when he's younger and older. They're spot on with all of that stuff. Beowulf is pretty good, if not his design, but they are pretty good about, you know, his backstory and motivation and, like, how he changes with age and, like, his views on kingship. They got all that stuff right. But they don't go into it as in depth as like they do with Gilgamesh and stuff. Yafuma's pretty accurate. It's still a lot more liberties there though than I would say with Gilgamesh. Izo's pretty accurate too. From what I don't know as much about Izo, but what I have looked at, it did seem pretty accurate. But I'm not as knowledgeable in that area. But yeah, after looking at here, I would say Gilgamesh right now. I wouldn't say that's like my final answer, but and Achilles is pretty accurate too. Again, though, there's a lot of different versions of Achilles, but everything they reference with his backstory is accurate to Greek mythology. It's very much how his personality is portrayed in a lot of the stories. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I don't think they changed anything about like, you know, his lineage or, you know, who he fought or any. I don't think they fucked with any of that. So Achilles is pretty damn accurate, I would say. The thing about Gil is they just go into so much more detail about the epic of Gilgamesh, and it is, you know, pretty much one for one. Where with like Achilles and some of these other ones, they don't go into it very much, right? They don't really do a whole lot with it. So they don't necessarily contradict anything, but they don't, like, I guess, confirm as much stuff as, like, Gilgamesh does. But, like, Blackbard, they got a lot right with Blackbard. They got a few things wrong, but they got a lot right with him. There's a few, like, nitpicky details with, like, his fleet and stuff that they kind of messed up, but for the most part, they're really accurate with that one. See, a lot of gender bins obviously are not accurate, so they're kind of immediately discounted there. I guess Gilius in a way is kind of accurate. I mean, they definitely change a lot of stuff, but certainly not as accurate as like Gilgamesh and Achilles. But yeah, for now I would say Gilgamesh and Achilles, and yeah, they're pretty spot on. Shin Gong's pretty good though, I would say. There's I think a few liberties there, but yeah, there's actually a lot though. When I look through Fate, there is a lot of characters that they might embellish a few things, but they don't generally they don't fuck up where they're like actually going against something in the legends, right? But there are times that they do. But there's a lot of stuff in like Fate's history where they actually did a pretty good job respecting the source material. But in recent years, they've gotten way worse. Like it's, oh my god, like last like 3 years or so. I think they've gotten significantly worse about that kind of thing. And it's just, you know, Gacha brain, I guess. Edmond's hard to, okay, so... How do I put this? So, what they're basically doing with Edmond is, like, they kind of split his character into, like, you know, two sides, right? Which that never really happened. But, like, the version you're summoning isn't the complete Edmond, right? Now, I don't know, Edmund's really weird because, like, they really fleshed his backstory out way more than they normally do. He has a full drama CD dedicated to him. And it's obviously not the Count of Monte Cristo, right? It's the Count of Monte Cristo in the Natsuverse. So it has a lot more things that are just straight up different. Now, they stay pretty true to, like, I guess his motivations. They had all this stuff with like him being, you know, trapped and then meeting the priest and learning from him and then getting the treasure and you know, the same people betrayed him for the most part. Like, so it's not like they didn't like fuck anything up, but they added in a lot of like Natsuverse stuff that just happened because he's kind of just being incorporated into the Natsuverse as like a real person and not just like a legend, right? Because like, you know, he's over there interacting with like Tsukihime characters and shit, right? It's just part of his story. That's not, I gotta break it to you, chat, but if you bust out the Count of Monte Cristo, the book, Roa's not in it. That doesn't happen. So it's not, again, they don't portray the character any, but they definitely take a lot more liberties than they do with other characters. And then the version you're summoning of him is not like the complete picture, right? And so that changes the way that he behaves a lot. So yeah, it's kind of weird. This is a Dragon Ball, yeah, I know, right? But yeah, and also hi Shadow, how you doing? But it's so funny, dude. When they added Edmond to Melty Blood, they're using Roa to show off his like moveset. They knew what they were doing there. I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, Roa's about to die to Edmond and Melty Blood too, so it's having a bad time there. Although I don't know if Edmond is going to be truly canon in Melty Blood because he's you know, a guest character. So, but Roa's a bit stronger in Melty Blood than he is in like the Fate stuff, but I don't think that would matter. Now, they might use that as an excuse to have him not, like, perma-die or whatever, but, like, really, when you look at Edmond's toolkit, Roa's just not in the same league as him, like, not at all. Doesn't matter if it's Melty Blood, Tsukihime, or Faith. He's a way outclassed there. Yeah, no roast beef sucks. I'd actually play Melty Blood if they added roast beef, or coup. But I don't know, I might play it some, like, with Edmond and all that, but I just don't really have time for a fighting game right now. And, like, some of the gameplay changes just aren't really my style. I don't, like, have a problem with it. I mean, it looks like a, you know, okay fighting game, but it doesn't have a roster I, like, super care about, and if I was going to get into a fighting game, there's just other ones that I am more interested in mechanically. So it's just kind of whatever. Alright, we actually want NP gain on this one. If I could get this art crit, that would be great. We really need this archer to go. Although he's technically a ruler, but he's got the archer skills and stuff, and we don't want none of that. I may have cast Guts slightly too soon there, we'll see. I might need to Rainbow Chain. This guy really needs to go. So this, I think, was doing the anti-mail damage, but it's lower crit rate. I think I'm gonna go for the crit. And I'll take 10%. I mean, 50-50 is still bad, but... Yangtze and Black Grail are almost tied against Gwaine. I did the harder version of Gwaine actually, like, you know, a billion fucking times. But you just NP a lot because Gwaine feeds you a lot of NP. And it never happened in the video, and it's kind of funny, this is why I made the video the slightly easier Gwaine. It's because I didn't need this to happen. But it is possible for Ku to double NP against Gwaine. It can happen where you NP Buster Art, so it's a rainbow chain, and then the art card crits. And then Gwaine can either NP, if he NPs you, it's much easier than to loop because Gwaine's NP has a higher hit count. But he could also just do like quick, or, you know, quick art quick, or whatever. So it's possible to just NP and then instantly NP again. And that's just way more damage. Like whose NP's base damage is just so much higher than a normal card, so multiplying it by 80% is just a lot better than what you're getting out of Yangtze. Now, that's if you double NP. Now, in the video, I never doubled NP. I tried to, but it just never happened. But I won anyway, because like that was the you only have to do it against the other Gwaine, so like the easier Gwaine, it still works. The thing is though, like I did Gwaine so many times with both. If you don't double NP, they're almost exactly tied. Like, they're almost exactly the same. And this is what I found after, like, a million attempts. This is what I found what would happen. Because, again, the other fight with Gwaine is harder than the one in the video. And so I would normally lose. So I could always see, though, how far I could get. And so at the end, I would always die on the exact same turn. There's actually so little RNG with, like, the survivability side of things that Ku would die on the exact same turn. I don't think I ever had an exception to that. I think I did that fight, like, 1,000 times or some shit. And I would die on the same turn, or win on the same turn, no matter what. It just would not change. Anyway, and generally speaking, Yangtze was more consistent. Like, it would consistently get a little bit farther than Black Grail, but Black Grail peaked higher, and I only ever won with Black Grail. Now, the fight that I made a video for, which is a slightly easier version of Gwaine, you can win with either. It literally doesn't matter. Like, it's within the... Because if you look, I overkilled Gwaine actually quite a bit. I didn't use any of the normal attacks after the NP, so there's really just like no RNG there. So that one you can just win with Black Grail or Yangtze. It won't make a difference. But like, there's just a lot of stuff in Black Grail's favor that people don't notice. First off, it gives you 400 more attack than Yangtze does, so that eats into Yangtze's like value a little bit, right? With it giving you the 40% all of the time. And then also, this is really weird, but the damage from Black Grail is good in that fight. Because if you notice, it never did... me taking 500 damage from Black Grail never has a significant impact on anything, ever. There is never a turn where it could have killed me. Ever. There's just no RNG in it. There's never a time where taking 500 damage is a problem. And it's actually a good thing, because you'll be slightly lower on HP, so your attack up gives you more attack up, because it's based on Q's HP. So, yeah, Black Grail gives you 400 more attack. You have slightly, not much, but slightly more attack from your first skill because of it. So that lowers the value of Yang CE in comparison. And then again, every time you NP, Black Grail gets ahead. And if you notice, you NP a lot in that fight. Because Yang CE makes your NP do roughly 40% more damage. Black Grail does 80, but then also gives you more attack stats, so it's actually more than 80. And there's one other thing that hurts Yang CE, is you have to apply the burn. And there's various... That's not that big of a deal, but it basically that fight's so hard, it's not like... Ku can't just bring a bunch of burn command codes like he normally could. That's not good enough. It was actually optimal to only bring one burn command code. Any more than that, it wasn't worth it. And if that one burn happens to get guarded, now you're losing damage, right? So just overall, I found, and I know for a fact Black Grail's better, because the other fight with Gwen, again, the one that's not in the video, but the other fight with Gwen that's a bit harder, I never won with a Yang CE ever, where I did win with Black Grail. It was very, very hard, and it barely fucking works. And that's why it's not a video, but because the thing about like Black Grail is it can just capitalize on like better RNG, where Yang CE is like static. Because like if you do get lucky and you do loop Ku's NP, and you NP twice in a row, obviously having the CE that makes you do 80% more NP damage is way better, right? Like obviously, where Yang CE, you still, yeah, double NPing is nice, but it's not as nice. And the only way to beat the even harder version of Gwen is to double NP, right? You're not going to do it otherwise. In your Ku versus Nobukatsu video, I don't even remember making a Ku versus Nobukatsu video. What the fuck? Oh, you, okay. I'm thinking like the challenge quest. That's, I know what you're talking about. The one with all the mini Nobus. I have no idea what that video was called. Surely I put Nobukatsu in the name. Okay, hold on. Did I not put the music in the low bar? I didn't. I normally go back and do that, but I never did. Okay, when his bar broke... Just skimming through my video here, don't mind me, chat. Oh yeah, this fight was awesome. I remember this was actually really fun. Oh, this is definitely the Korean Guilty Gear soundtrack. It's either Robokai, it's either the Korean, yeah, this is hard to get correct. It's either the Guilty Gear Korean soundtrack, very important that it's the Korean soundtrack, not the regular Guilty Gear soundtrack. It's either Robokai's theme or Kai's theme. I think, I'm not sure off the top of my head. Let me listen carefully here. I think it's Robokai's theme. But yeah, it's the Korean Guilty Gear soundtrack. And yeah, it's either Robo-Kai or regular Kai theme. The reason I'm not sure which one it is because the way I'm editing that, it doesn't start at the beginning of the song. And that's the easiest way to tell the difference. Okay, I am about to get shot in the goddamn face. Yep, self-promotion in the middle of a stream. 3 turns on this. If I cast Invulnerability, it's more like 2 turns on this. They're probably not gonna proc guts either way. I think I'll just do this. Which one of these is the priority? This one probably does more damage because it's higher level, so I think we'll start focusing on that one. Oh, so the other day someone asked me what my favorite solo was. And I wasn't sure, and I'm still not sure, but one that I remembered that I really like, and it sucks because it's not a good solo anymore, because Ku's been buffed so much. So if they brought the boss fight back, it'd be really easy. But when this solo happened, Ku didn't even have his sure hit buff, right? So Ku was much weaker back then. But it's the challenge quest for Setsubun. That was so much fun to solo because you weren't supposed to use a single target Lancer for it. You were supposed to use AoE. It was very obnoxious to do it with a single target. It made it much harder, but it made it very rewarding to beat it. Because that boss would cast a lingering evade, but Ku didn't have sure hit back then, so that was very hard to deal with. And that boss would consistently summon ads with taunt. And again, if you don't have an AoE NP, that really limits like your options here. So you had to like manipulate like when you could target switch by killing one with like your normal cards or your NP, and then attacking the boss with the other attacks and stuff like that. Made it a very difficult. That was very complicated to solo. Like that was a lot. You had to like change what you did based on like when the trash mobs would debuff or not. It would actually change your skill order. If you played it like an autopilot, you would just lose every time. Like you had to like adapt, and that was awesome. So yeah, that was a very very fun solo. And like now it would just be so easy if they brought that boss fight back. Ku could just slaughter it. Because now everyone's just stronger. We got faux paws and 2K foe and 120 instead of 100 and you know all these things. But then Ku's got the attack up now and the sure hit and the stronger NP and stuff. So now he would just shit on it and it'd be a joke. But back then that was very, very tough at the time. So yeah, it was very rewarding to figure out. I wish my video quality was better back then because that's like a time capsule. We'll never have that boss fight like it was. Right, because even if I level up a second Ku, they automatically have the strengthening quest done of my other Ku. So there's no way, there's like no way for me to fight that boss like it was back then again to like make the video quality better. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I guess I could make a new account and get a Ku to vanilla 100. I could even figure out what my foe items were at and all that, and then you know, don't do the strengthening quests. Shit. That's a lot of work, and then they might not ever bring the event back, so I don't know if that's worth the effort there, but I would love to have like a remastered version of that video. Alrighty, let's see, what am I doing? I'll probably get my NP, even if I don't completely focus. I don't know, if I put the art card first, I might not get it, but I don't think I need to put it third, so I might like split the difference and put it in the middle, just to make sure I get it. But then, I think putting in third place is just more than I need. However, honestly, I don't mind making stars here. But if you got a decent crit chance now, you might as well take it now. You know what, fuck it. No, well, I was gonna put art card first. I'm not that brave. I'm not that confident in the NP game. I'd be very surprised if Ku could solo Fluffy. Funnily enough, though, I think Ku could probably do it if Ku had debuff immunity. If he had debuff immunity, then I think he might be able to do it. But yeah, the debuffs will just add up too quickly otherwise. Okay, I think I ditched that, so you know, it's not terrible being low on HP, so healing can actually be a bad thing, just because the way Ku works, but it's going to be a while before that's relevant. You might actually have to, bring better command codes for this. Like, I'm playing in a very generic way right now. I'm not actually playing in a way to try to, like, really min-max my value like I did versus Gwen. And we might fall short here. We'll see. Okay, now we need to focus on NP game. Wouldn't actually hurt to have a command code to get rid of that crit buff. But it's hard to say if that'd be worth it or not. Depends on how much of a crit buff it is. If it's really high chance up, then yeah, absolutely. Still have defense up right now. I think I rainbow chain because the crit chances are so high. Damn, we didn't crit with that art card. That sucks. Ooh. Okay, we just got triple crit. That was, pretty shit. Damn, we're not gonna get this back, without doing my cooldown reduction, which is that's probably gonna fuck everything up. So, we would have gotten a lot more value here if if we didn't get triple crit there, I think. I really needed this guy to die this turn, and I think he's barely not going to. Yeah, we needed that guts to go off one turn later. Yeah, actually the way this is going, I'd be better off at default than Atlas. But also, because guts went off and they didn't keep attacking me, I didn't get my NP. So quite a bit is bad there. We're gonna have to do some pretty high damage here. Yeah, if I had one more turn, I think we would win. So like that one turn where we got triple crit is what is gonna screw us, I think. Also, we could have potentially done more damage and have already killed that guy last turn, so we could have already done one turn of damage to this guy and then this NP. Now, I can heal, and there's a chance I would live, but it'll lower my damage. I think I'll take it, because I don't think I'll kill him either way. But because of my defense up, maybe I live here. Yeah, I think we can win, though. Like, if we had killed that one dude sooner, I think we could do it. But it's really close. It might be a lot easier if I change my command codes and whatnot, but yeah, that's tough. Let me take a peek at our command codes here. You could actually go for the double NP like you do against Gwen on these guys, but I'd rather not play that way if I can help it. So in that attempt, default would have been better than Atlas, but if we didn't get triple crit on that one turn, Atlas might have still been better, although it's actually a pretty tough call. I'm leaning towards bringing default. Now, the Saber one, I think, can cast a defense buff, but he never did. So that one command code didn't do anything for us. But it potentially could. Okay, before I change anything, let's just try it with default and see what happens. Yeah, it's not always 0 AP. I wish it was. I actually think the game would be way better if they made it 0 AP all the time. Because then people would just do their farming or whatever, and then when they run out of AP, then they just go play the main story. And it's just so much better. Yeah, and also they wouldn't feel bad if he failed a stage, like if he lost to Fluffy, and they... Because I know for a fact, I've had a lot of viewers say this, like, oh fuck, I was attacking the wrong guy. But like, they wanted to beat like Fluffy legit, but they didn't want to waste a bunch of AP. I like how all of Ku's Buster cards are in the third hand, which we're never going to get to. Okay, I'm just gonna restart. I attacked the wrong guy, and then that's just super bad the way the deck shuffled there. But yeah, they need to make the main story cause 0 AP, and they need to have story replay, so you can just do it for fun. Make the game just so much better. I honestly have no clue why am do I not have another one limit broken? The fuck? But anyway, yeah, 7 years in and we don't have story replay. I mean, that's just absurd. It's ridiculous. Arknights had story replay day 1. Getting a great success right there would have sucked. Yeah, I know, our main interlude system is terrible. I know, look at Arknights. They added main interlude after FGO did. And I wouldn't be surprised if FGO was part of the reason they decided to add it to Arknights. But Arknights did it better in every way possible. And since then, they've added... This blows my mind. Okay, FGO makes more money than Arknights. FGO and Arknights are on the same game engine. Literally, they're made on the same game engine. So they're working with the same technical stuff. So that's not an excuse. So FGO makes more money. FGO added main interludes first. Arknights already now has more main interludes than FGO does. Like, okay, like, fuck, right? How does that happen, right? Okay, game, why do I have all George cards? What am I looking at here? I keep hoping for an anniversary they're gonna actually fix up some of the core problems with FGO. But I don't know, man. I've been worried. The way Lasagna has been handling the game, I've not been happy with. So, I mean, they've done a few good things, like making the advanced quests replayable. There's at least that. I mean, it's not like NA is ever going to get a quality of life update before JP. I mean, that's just doesn't work that way. Like, you're always just going to get what JP got. Oh fuck, I have to cast this now. I don't have Atlas there. I didn't think about that. Damn, we never got a Buster card. So we don't really do any damage here. Okay. Could cast Guts at a different time, but I think we'll do it here. Might need to actually cast it like one turn later. We'll see. Okay, bad start here though. We did less damage, and then that guy has sure hit already. I wonder if you could insta-kill these, because if you randomly got an insta-kill proc, that would be a big deal. I'd really like this guy to die this turn, but that is not going to happen. Do I Rainbow Chain or take the 3 crits? I think I take the 3 crits because it'll give me a decent amount of stars for the next turn as well. That's actually where having Star Bomb on my Buster card would be really nice. Yeah, I love this song too. I mean, Armored Core music is just the shit, man. Like, I love Armored Core gameplay, obviously. Like, I'm a huge fan, but shit, I'm gonna have to do attack up here. Anyway, the music is a huge plus. Like with Armored Core 6, I'm looking forward to the game a lot, but I'm also really, really looking forward to the music. So it looks like with this first guy, you need to either get lucky and have him not cast Sure Hit at a bad time, or you need to get more crits and or more cards during the taunt turns. Okay, it looks like coincidentally that was the turn that his Sure Hit wore off. But it's still bad. Like, we still lost so much value there. Because, like, we used the attack up but we didn't kill him, and now we have to waste a turn on him when he's at 5k HP. Where you could have just gotten, like, a better opening, and then he would just be dead. I mean, they generally give NA quality of life updates early, but, you know, oh my god, man. How early is not consistent? Generally, if it affects gameplay in a really tangible way, you don't get it early, but there have been exceptions to that, so... And who the fuck cares about blue apples? I like how my opening hands just keep being this. Like, what the fuck? Also, sometimes I think implement things early because it'd actually be a pain not to, because your old like client version of the game is way ahead of where it is content-wise. So sometimes I think they have to actually exert effort to prevent a quality of life update from being in the game, because it's just tied to, you know, the game. So I do think that's why you get some things early. So, like with the rainbow change and all that, they might just say, fuck it, we don't want to, you know, have to deal with the two different versions of the game like that, so they might just put it in early. But it is obviously a major, like it would make Fluffy way easier. Like, well, I don't know, it depends on the setup. Some setups wouldn't give a shit, to be honest. But some setups would be easier if they had rainbow chains. Man, we just keep getting bad openings here. I really didn't want to waste that like that. But yeah, who knows? Not getting a break with this archer. 40-80 is tempting. Yeah, I'll do it. If we don't crit, it's bad, but... That's good. There we go. That was probably worth it then. Actually, I probably should have attacked up right there, now that I think about it. Killing the archer one fast is the most important. And that was probably like the best boom for your buck you were gonna get out of the attack up. Damn. 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 Fucking 60, 50, 40. So we're overwhelmingly likely to crit at least once, but we did not get any. That sucks. I think I'll save the attack, the heal, because it's actually increasing my damage right now, having lower HP. If he doesn't die here, we pretty fucked. Because I can't do like a turn where I fight one of them at like 4 HP. I need to put it into the next guy. Okay, that's good. I wish it had just killed him, so then I could have done a little bit of damage to the other guy, but it's still good enough. That guy's hit count on his NP is really high, but so is the Saber's. Okay, we're gonna have one turn of the down because I had to use this earlier. Do it like that because we've got art down and not quick down, and the art card's not guaranteed to crit, so. Woo! That was not good damage there. Yeah, see, this first Guts I might need to cast later, so it actually procs, and then I can get the, because I'm basically whiffing it aside from the attack up. So I could have cast maybe like 2 turns later, and then had it proc on its final turn. Might be able to get more value that way. Yeah, I don't want to do the attack up until I have the other attack up, and also preferably crits. And we'll do quick this time because the art buster is not a high crit chance. I think if the art buster though is a high crit chance, it's best to rainbow. Like, why crit next turn when you can crit now and then also get the rainbow bonus? And then go ahead and get like NP gain on that turn because of the art card and stuff. Now there's exceptions to that, especially with like break bars. If you're gonna break a bar anyway, then you obviously do quick. That way you can do crits on the next bar. Like, that's way better. So it's not universal. But I kind of like that about Ku now. You've got some decisions to make along the way. You have decisions with your guts, you have decisions with your attacks. That's a pretty cool halberd on the Enforcer guy. You know, it's a little fantasy, but not like way over the top. Which is generally where I like it. Man, see, I need my NP right now, and then do the attack up, and then kill this guy. I almost think I need to attack the other guy. Because if I use the attack up next turn, we're probably going to overkill. But if I don't use it at all, we might not kill him. Well, maybe we can get him low enough that I can save the attack up. I hate to use this art card because Merlin's not needed here, but I think a rainbow chain is the best. 20% more damage versus 10% more crit. That's a low enough crit that, well, let's go up to 50. And we'll play to our outs here. Because that one crits is the best. Well, no luck. Damn. This just doesn't sync up here, so it's gonna have to be Atlas then. Yeah, it just doesn't sync up the way that I want it to. Cause like, they're NPing right there, so you'd have to have hard survival on that turn. Yeah, I think you can do it, but you need Atlas, and then I think you're gonna need to get really good luck at the beginning. Kill that archer really quickly. It's just a lot of HP with them being rulers to get through. Yeah, that Atlas is definitely better. The only way it's not is if we got that PFA back, but it's not. It wouldn't be consistent doing that. Okay, this is beatable with Q, but honestly, it's just RNG. It's in like that range where you're like, well, maybe with better command codes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. We're not actually. We haven't used our final form yet. I kind of forgot something rather relevant. I'm sure someone in chat knows where this is going. Let's see. Wait, my coup already has faux pas. That was finished quite a while ago, actually. Oh, command codes take so long to sort out. Holy shit. Okay, there we go. So, much like with Gwaine, I actually suspect Black Grail is actually probably better here. But, we'll go with the more straightforward value here. Hard to say though, because this is ultimately very different from Gwaine, because the targets are split up. So for example, let's say one of the times you NP'd one of the Enforcement Knights, and the NP overkilled it by like 30k, that's really bad for Black Grail, right? That's literally value just straight into the toilet. Where Gwaine, all of the HP is in one spot. So there's no whiffed value, where with switching enemies and things like that, you can have whiffed value. So, that potentially could favor the Yang CE, although it might not, depending on, like, sometimes the damage ratios might work out perfectly where Black Grail wouldn't whiff like that, but there's no way to know. They didn't kill Leonidas. Okay, game. I could attack this one to get rid of its attack up, so it does less damage to me later. But I'll have when it first gets to hit me, I'm gonna have PFA up, so I don't think that's worth. Double crit buff. Can't say I like that. Also, can't say I like this hand. It's like a Buster Chain over nothing, but that was definitely not ideal. Okay. I think we wait at least one turn on Guts. I'll do the Star Bomb. The 3-star instead of 2-star. I don't need like 2 burns right there. That is a noticeable increase to our damage though. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. That so sucks. Oh, Jesus, that's so lame. That's gonna be a lot of whipped value right there. I blame that Buster hand for that. Ugh, that's not good. Let's see. Just hope that 40% crits. Just get lucky. Just get lucky for him. But yeah, this is why it's so bad. Look at this hit count, like I'm whiffing. So I could have already NP'd, and this would be going into a new NP. I mean, look at this. Like, look how much I'm whiffing. That is, I just whiffed a whole NP because of that. Now, Yang CE might be so good that that doesn't matter, right? We might win anyway, but that is a big yikes right there. Definitely not what we wanted to see. Oh, you can insta-kill these. So we actually could have beaten this at like any time if that had just randomly happened. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Now that was pretty useless insta-deathing that guy because he was so low in HP. And with Yang CE and stuff, and we had the attack up, that didn't really matter that much. But it's interesting to know that that can happen. Do I switch to this one? I think I do switch to this one. He's got the crit buff, and I think he has a higher attack stat, so I'd rather that one die. So I need to apply burn. I want NP gain. I guess we'll do it like that. This is the Aya's theme from Oh. And this song is probably older than some of the people in chat. Like, holy shit. Like, this song is so old. I think it's like 16 years old or something like that. Yeah, we keep getting these 7% and shit. That is not good. Follow the crit percentage. Looks like I made the right call because I put the art card in front of the quick, and then the quick crit and the art didn't, so it paid off. God, we even with Yang CE, we might lose this attempt just because we are whiffing so much NP gain. Like, this is like crazy how much we've whiffed. We'll see though. Also, did I time Guts right? Oh fuck, I didn't. This would be so much better if I'd cast it one turn later, because then I wouldn't need an Atlas to bring one of these back, and it would go off, and then these would just come back, but we might be able to win regardless. It's definitely a fuck up though. Yeah, a lot has gone wrong here. No 16-year-old plays FGO. You're probably right about that, actually. Definitely a boomer game now. It's weird, man. I remember when I got into it, and almost everyone playing it was teenagers. I mean, really, cause all of my regulars and shit, a lot of them were like in high school when they started watching me. Like a lot of them. And yeah, when the NA version came out, you know, I'd already been playing the JP version, but when the NA version came out, most people getting into it were on the younger side. Okay, we got a 17-year-old. Yeah, that's rare, though. That's rare. But anyway, it was just funny. You know, I've just seen a lot of these people grow up over the years. Kind of crazy. Yeah, holy shit, dude. This, I think we're gonna lose. I mean, we've whiffed 2 NPs, and then look at this value right here having to Atlas on 1 turn cooldown. That is so fucking bad. Like, holy shit. We'll see. But yeah, not looking good. Oh, we don't have burn. I think it could revitalize itself though, like no problem. They need to make the game better. Like the new player experience needs to be way better. Like their new player retention is just trash. But yeah, they need to make the early game experience a lot more fun and that kind of thing, and then they need to like touch up some UI stuff, and they just need like a good anime to come out, and then they could get a lot of new blood that way. Man, this sucks. I need to do 16,000, but I'm just sitting on my NP. Fuck it, I think I NP to 16k just so I can quick chain. I should have swapped those quick cards around to apply the burn sooner. Yeah, I just whiffed like 60k damage. It's not great. We'll definitely win though if we just don't whiff all those NPs. We might still have it though. It's gonna be close. I can get rid of his attack up, that helps. He probably won't kill us there. He lost the attack up. He's the lower level of them, and I have defense up, so he probably won't kill us here. Yeah, alright, we win. And with some leftover value, because we'll probably win right here. Although we lose the attack ups, maybe not. But we might win right here, and then we still have guts. Yeah, I think leaving this guy alive for last is definitely best, because I'm pretty sure he's the weakest. And then the archer, you couldn't do that because he is sure hit, so that's a no-go. This has crit damage on it, but if he lived, it'd be nice to reapply burn, but I think the idea is for him not to live here. Okay, we won, and this does show why Yangtze E is so busted, because that went very poorly. I think anyone with a brain could see that went very poorly. With like the opening cards, we kept getting like 97% NP, and whipping an outrageous amount of refund and stuff. But we still won, so yeah, it does show that Yangtze E is really busted. Would be a lot better too if I had Ku's second passive, because then even with not getting a lot of starting NP there, we still would have NP'd as soon as our taunts died. So yeah, I really need to get those Ku coins. I need 120 Ku coins. So what I'm getting at is, can Ku be a main character in Lostbelt 7 so he gets rated up? That's really what I'm getting to here. Dude, if they did a Lancer class banner, I would roll on it. I'd be sad because I'd like to get Ku while also rolling on, like, you know, a new character that I like or something. But yeah, if they did a Lancer class banner right now, I would absolutely roll on it. I'd try to at least get like 5 copies or something, and then maybe try to get the rest with FP. Alright, this is probably Tristan. You know what? Let's do some Tesla action. That'll be kind of fun. Go neutral against Tristan. Give Tesla some stuff here. I remember Tesla used to want to do buff success chance, and he still can in longer fights, but he doesn't generally need it anymore. I don't really know what I want to give him. I was hoping we would get like just something that I know I want. It doesn't have to be at the top of my list, but I was hoping they'd rate up something that like, you know, like a new 3-star, or like that other gunslinger, or, you know, Green Knight, you know, something like that, and then also get Kuai and add it, right? That would be ideal. Dude, my heart sank when I found out that they were actually going to add the Green Knight to EPCO, and then they changed their mind. And at first I thought it might have just been like a rumor, but then it was confirmed, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously, dude, like that, oh my, because I wanted Vortigern really bad, but like I want Green Knight more than anything. I think everybody knows that. And, yeah, it always just felt like a pipe dream that wouldn't happen. But then they were like, yeah, no, we were gonna do it, and then, we didn't. Like, okay, great. Thanks, guys. I could bring a sure hit for Tristan's evade, but Tesla's got Pierce and Vulnerability for 3 turns. That doesn't seem super necessary. I don't know, Tesla can kind of just slot whatever counters the boss, and I don't know what the hell is going to happen with this boss. I'll just kind of go with whatever here. God, man. Lostbelt 6 was originally going to be a lot more normal, too. Like, everything about the original plot outline was a lot less weird. I really wish we had gotten that, and not all the weird shit. Like, a regular Artoria was going to be in it at the end. And, like, it was going to be, I think, regular Vortigern, if I remember correctly. And yeah, they're going to summon Artoria as a grand, they might still do that later, though. They might revisit that idea. I don't know, though. I don't know if they would have told us if they were going to revisit it. I think part of why they told us is because maybe they're not going to revisit it, but I don't know. And apparently that was a plan for a while, though, and that's why Artoria is on, like, the front of, you know, the Lostbelt, like, promo pictures and stuff. Because that was going to be a whole thing. I think what they might do is I think they might revisit it, but in a way lesser way. Like, they might have Artoria show up, like, they might have like a big like finale thing, kind of like Solomon, and like a bunch of Grands get summoned, and Artoria is the Saber one that gets summoned, and, you know, just as like and not gonna play a huge role ultimately, but will like blast a bitch, you know, and that's a thing. I could definitely see them doing something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they were going to have regular Vortigern as the final boss instead of Oberym nonsense. You're gonna summon like Grand Saber Artoria. King Lots was going to be like an ongoing side thing, probably instead of Spriggan or something, one of those characters, but it was going to be King Lots. And Gawain was going to be on your side throughout the story, and he was going to have like a big thing with King Lots, and King Lots was going to be like slowly transformed into the Green Knight, and Gawain was going to try to stop that, you know, at all costs, and yada yada. And Oberym was going to just be regular Oberym, and then Nasu just liked the design so much he wanted to make Oberym more important, so he like fused Oberym with being the final boss with Vortigern like that. That's why it ultimately is kind of tacked on. Like, I called that, by the way. Before we knew all this, I called that shit was tacked on. Anyway, because like I said, it made no sense that it was Oberym Vortigern, right? Like that had nothing to do with anything. Like, it was fine to have an extra final boss like that, and I think everyone saw that coming a mile away, and that was fine, but like there was literally nothing about it that needed to be Oberym, right? Like that just has nothing to do with anything. But yeah, it's because it wasn't originally going to be. They kind of just decided to give Oberym Vortigern's part like that, so 'tis what it is. And honestly, a lot of the main plot beats, though, I think we're going to be the same. Like, not as much changes as you think with some of those things. Some of those side plots are irrelevant and can be interchanged with, like, some of the other stuff. And, like, for example, it was going to be regular Morgan first, not Lostbelt Morgan. But if you think about it, that wouldn't really change much. Like, really think about it. Even though regular Morgan is way eviler and stuff, it would just make a more clear reason why she's like doing the stuff that she's doing, and then there wouldn't be the sympathetic, you know, backstory to it. And then like she'd probably still be betrayed and killed and all that. None of that would probably change, right? And you'd actually probably have a more reason why they'd want to betray her if she was the more straightforward evil Morgan. But yeah, when you think about like the role, like don't think about what she says and her backstory and everything. Think about the actual role Morgan is playing throughout the story and like the major plot beats, right? Like it doesn't matter if she's like sad about the Woodrose thing or not. That doesn't matter. Like that's not an actual like plot point that like affects anything. But if you look at like what's actually affecting things, it wouldn't really matter if she was like the more typical evil Morgan, right? You would just change around the character moments and stuff a bit, like the flavor text and that kind of thing. So yeah, you can kind of see why they were able to change that, and it didn't actually, like, it didn't completely butcher this like the story. It didn't like completely uproot what they were wanting to do. But yeah, it was going to be regular Morgan. It was going to be regular Vortigern, and I think it was going to be regular Overham too. I think I don't remember exactly how that was going to be. But who knows? Maybe the revisit. Boy, they're really foreshadowing the thing later here. I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, that was one thing I did like about Lostbelt 6. That was really cool. Having normal Gwaine, because there was so little normal Camelot in Lostbelt 6. It was nice having the normal lads show up and save the day there. And I like how that was a good character moment to make Beryl look like a bitch. Because Beryl is there that entire time, and he doesn't attack MASH until they leave. Because, you know, he's a bitch. And so that's kind of funny. That is like a good way to characterize him with that. Okay, so Tristan is the biggest threat by far, because he's a 3 NP tick, and then we're class neutral. Actually, you haven't missed shit. Yeah, it's super easy to get back into FGO. I mean, you can just play the main story, it isn't gone anywhere. You have missed nothing. Like, who cares? You miss some command codes and CEs, like, it doesn't matter. Most of the older CEs are better than the new ones anyway. Like, I can't think of anything meaningful that you've actually missed in FGO that's, like, not permanent, so. And, like, Lostbelt 7's coming pretty soon, so. And, like, whatever your account status is, it's probably strong enough to do the main story, so it's not really a big deal. Uh-oh. Okay, just don't magic resist me. Because then I don't need to cast a survival skill because it'll be stunned. You know what? I think I do Art. Because I got NP gain up and we got Merlin. It doesn't FF14. I've heard it like they allow you to play like old boss fights like in a way that it rescales you, so you're like not overpowered and you're like relevant to like how it was. And they have like a lot of old boss fights that are still very like fun. That does sound kind of awesome. I would play. Oh my god, we didn't stun Tristan. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me, game? God damn it. But anyway, I would play that game if I had more spare time, but I do not have more spare time, so, yeah, I don't. If I was retired, and, like, I didn't have to worry about, like, work and stuff, then I would play it. Like, I'd play it. It sounds like a fun time, like a, you know, long fall with game. So I think we're gonna lose because we didn't stun there. Maybe I should have just like counted on not stunning and had some ability there, but it lose all my health. There's just, from what I've seen of Final Fantasy XIV, the thing is the devs actually give a shit. And that's really important, because a lot of times a lot of devs don't give a shit, and they just do like what they have to do. Right? They're just checking boxes. So they're not worrying about like new player experience and all these kinds of things. So I'm gonna lose by one turn. In one turn I get my guts back and all that. And also, I'll just kill the other one. So that lack of stun is what killed me. Oh, damn it, dude. Yeah, one thing, I haven't looked very carefully, but none of the races in Final Fantasy XIV I'm very crazy about. They don't have, like, orcs, or, like, minotaurs, or skeletons, or ogres, or, you know, they don't have anything really, or they don't really, so that's kind of an issue. You can always just go human, and then wear, like, really awesome heavy armor, right, and that's not so bad, but yeah, they didn't seem to have a lot of races that I really cared about. You know, Final Fantasy is very... How do I put it? Everyone's a supermodel, right? That kind of thing. You know, everyone's an elf, right? It's like, they have elves and shit. They don't have orcs, right? You don't get that kind of thing, so... Okay, we can probably win anyway, but fuck this opening hand. I hate that. Dude, I remember For Honor, people called the Knights trash cans, the Vikings neckbeards, and the Japanese weebs. That was good times. I love the idea of For Honor so much. Like, just lots of cool medieval stuff and everything. Like, and just like a third-person action PvP game, kind of like Dark Souls, but like better netcode. Love the concept of that game, but it had the worst meta, like, imaginable. It was so bad. Oh my god. That game was so fun when no one knew what they were doing, and people would actually swing, but then once the meta established, that game was fucking awful. Like, oh my god. And, like, it basically being reactionary was just way too strong, so the whole meta was about just doing all this weird bullshit tech to, like, make it look like you're attacking but not, and it was so stupid. Oh my god. Great game concept, amazing game concept, but like stop, fucking George, you're fired. God damn it, don't make me bring Qingong. But yeah, really like the idea of that game, but yeah, it did not have a healthy combat system ultimately when you boiled it down. I didn't play it in its later days. The thing is, it's not really playable anymore because the only people still playing it now have been playing it non-stop for years, so you're not going to have like a natural curve getting back into the game like when a game first launches. So that's why it's important to get it right the first time, where they definitely did not. Dude, I like how I got one card, which would normally be good enough, but that was the only card I didn't want to see because I just whiffed the heal. And I don't think it would matter. Like, I don't think any of this matters if we win or lose because... like, I need to just not get impeded in the face by Tristan like that. That's like the only thing that actually matters here. But it's just so unsatisfying to have these outrageously bad opening hands. Yeah, same with regular fighting games though. They need to get it right the first time because that's when the player base is going to be the most like vibrant and you're going to have various skill levels and you can like work your way up and get better naturally and that kind of thing. Where if a fighting game has an unhealthy launch and you don't want to play it, you're not gonna play it later. Like, generally people, and rightfully so, don't get into fighting games late. And if they don't like it and quit, they don't go back, and that's the right thing to do, really. It's just kind of the nature of a game that has that much of a you know, learning curve on it. But that's why it's really important that the devs don't fuck it up. Yeah, I would love another game like For Honor. Like, in concept, that's what I want out of a game. Like, because it had 1v1 and team stuff, and like, I love all that. Oh my god, that community was the worst, though. Holy shit, I'm having flashbacks. So, I played the 1v1 plenty in For Honor, right? And it's a good way to get better at the game. But then when, like, my friends would be online, we would want to play the team stuff, right? So if it was like me and Tusk, we'd want to go play 2v2. You do not understand how prevalent this was. If you didn't play the game, anyone that plays the game knows what I'm talking about here. But the 2v2 community just would not 2v2. They would get so bitchy and complain and get so salty in chat if you 2v2'd in 2v2. Now, to my viewers that haven't played For Honor, you might have a really hard time grasping your head around that. And as do I, having played the game, but for some fucking reason, the community just couldn't, all they wanted 2v2 to be was two people separately 1v1ing, and then the winners of the two 1v1s would then 1v1 each other. That's what they wanted it to be. And they would just bitch and complain and call you, you know, a skillless, insert an insult after that, you know, a hack, if you actually 2v2'd in 2v2. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And like, I liked 1v1, you know, I mean, I mean, the core combat was kind of bad, but you know, I 1v1 plenty in that game, but I just played the 1v1 mode. It's like the whole point of it being 2v2 or 3v3. I think it was like 1v1, 2v2, and then like 5v5 or something. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were and everything. But anyway, the whole point of doing not 1v1 is to work with your team and cover each other and like, oh, that guy's, you know, open and I can hit him and then his teammate won't be able to get on me in time. And that's the whole point, right? And that's really fun and interesting. That's a really fun thing because it's you need your good fundamentals to hold your own, but then you also need to know how to like look for openings and when to switch targets and when to like, you know, oh shit, my teammate's getting fucked up. I need to go over there and help him. And you know, that's like what makes it interesting. But yeah, I cannot believe, and I'm seeing that in Elden Ring. I'm seeing that in the 2v2 arena in Elden Ring. People try to like turn it into two 1v1s. I'm just like, dude, go do a normal 1v1. I just think it's so stupid. And what it is, I think, is some people are just bad at shenanigans in video games. Be it Elden Ring, For Honor, whatever it is. League of Legends, right? People are bad at like adapting to the team environment, right? So when someone like, you know, they're fighting someone 1v1 and like, oh, I'm gonna win, and then their teammate comes in and fucks you up, you get mad. But the thing is, and I play enough team games that I never feel that way. I know if I'm just in a straight 1v1 in a team match, this isn't what really matters. And I know someone can come over and help this guy at any second. But the thing is, that's good, right? Especially if I can then hold my own in a 2v1, now my team has a number advantage elsewhere on the map. This is even better, right? And so I try to pay enough attention, because I'm not an idiot, right? So I don't get ganked. I'm aware that people can come over and start attacking me out of nowhere. So I try to be aware of my surroundings and think about, do I have time to like tunnel this guy, or if I keep tunneling this guy, is it not going to work, right? That's part of what makes the team play interesting, right? But yeah, it's just fucking crybabies that like can't handle like that is, you know, they got ganked or whatever, and it's just not fair. It's like, yes, that's a team play, dummy, right? You're not. That's the whole. Ultimately, because ultimately it is fair, because you have just as many teammates as the other team does, right? You could have gone over there and ganked the other team just like they did to you, or you could have noticed that they were coming over and backed up and not overcommitted. It sounds like I'm talking about League of Legends, but I'm actually talking about Elden Ring. But anyway, it applies to League of Legends and everything else. But people are just fucking stupid, right? They want to play a team game, and they don't want to deal with team dynamics. Genius. Okay, so Tristan quick charged again. So that's a thing. Fuck, the timing on Tristan's NP when Tesla got the RNG stun, although it's 80%, so it's not that RNG, but it is RNG. It's the timing here is very bad. And what really bothers me is you'll have people that like, you'll be losing a 1v1, or you're just baiting them. I think anyone that's played a team-based game has done this at some point. That you will literally bait the other player to get like overly aggressive on you because you know your teammate is ready to come fuck them up. That's very much a thing in Elden Ring, even not outside of the arena. I remember in like Anor Londo and Dark Souls 3, I would do that all of the time when it was like multiplayer stuff and there was like more than, you know, one person on each side. I would like be overly mashy or like not roll out and like hit trade when I shouldn't, because I knew my teammate was coming over and that would get the other players to not roll and keep mashing into me or whatever, and then when he gets blown the fuck up, right? And you do that in like League of Legends and other games, right? And it's reading the room, right? And the other player needs to be aware of that. So what will happen though is sometimes the other player will think they're going to win the 1v1 or whatever, and maybe they were, you know, maybe they are actually beating you in the 1v1, but you know, sometimes it's just luck and all kinds of other things. But anyway, so they're advantaged in the 1v1, and then someone comes over and it's 2v1, and then they get destroyed and they die, and it's like, oh, you don't do that, right? And it's fine to think that, but it's like, it's just part of what team play is, right? So it's like, you're looking for like this 1v1 dick measuring competition, you shouldn't have been in a team setting. Because what actually makes you good, what makes you a good player in a team setting isn't just being good at 1v1. That can help, but it's being good at reading the room and working with your teammates. That's actually what makes you better at it. Not being really good at 1v1 and then 1v1ing when you shouldn't be 1v1ing, right? And then half the time when they're all like, oh, I would have beat you, you know, a lot of times they were just getting baited, right? And it's just stupid. But yeah, like in Overwatch, I've seen that where like someone's getting healed, and so the other person they're fighting will have done enough damage to them to have killed them like twice. But the thing is, the person being healed is only being as aggressive and like soaking the hits because they're getting healed. They wouldn't be playing that way if they weren't getting healed, right? So people are they're just fucking stupid, and you know, it is what it is. Okay, this is the same situation as last time, and I think the really smart thing to do is just cast Invulnerability right now. But I'm gonna make the same decision again, and I'm just gonna stun him, guys. Don't worry about it. Like it's just gonna work this time. Or I'm gonna kill him, although that's probably not gonna happen. But, let's see. Rainbow, probably Rainbow here, because we don't have Merlin this time. Either that or Buster Chain. If I had crits there, I would definitely Buster Chain. And actually, I'm bringing the wrong Mystic Code. I would legitimately be better off with them. Are you fucking kidding me? Is there a gimmick here? Where the, like, what the fuck, dude? But no, I should bring a damage Mystic Code, because I could just kill him on this turn, and then I wouldn't have to worry about, I cannot believe this just happened again. What the fuck, game? Fuck you, Tristan. Let's see if I can somehow win, in these circumstances. Yeah, Atlas is terrible, though, because the cooldown reduction doesn't come into play at all, so it's really shitty here. Yeah, I could definitely win even with Tristan not getting stunned. I mean, not casting Invulnerability. I just need to bring like Anniversary Blonde or Default, or we just kill all of them now. I don't know, how did we kill so much faster here than we did last time? Magic Resist is the fun and engaging mechanic. It wasn't even that, though. It'll say guard if it's the Magic Resist. It just said miss. So I didn't even apply the stun in the first place. That being said, though, Magic Resist could obviously, you know, fuck you over too. So what you say still stands. I don't think it was the Buster Crits, though, because we killed Gwaine already, and we hadn't even attacked him. And where last time, Gwaine was still alive. Okay, is this Arthur yet? Just gonna check the wiki. Yeah, this is Arthur. This one's a bit harder. Who could probably solo this, so I'm looking at it. He's only got, like 500k HP, and his only major gimmick is, he gets an attack up, and he gets a free MP charge, I think. But, yeah, Q could probably do it, but let's use someone else. What do we want to use? Maybe not an archer, that's probably too much. Unless I'm forgetting something. And maybe his attack up is massive. Oh, Mordred, there we go. Fight nicer, daddy. I like how she calls Arthur Isekai father. I think that's kind of funny. Alright, let's give Mordred some command codes here. Man, I do wonder if they're ever going to add Prototype Mordred, and if they're going to... I actually think they should do this, because it's not just a meme, it actually makes sense when you look at like what's known about their personalities. So Arthur gets along, you know, way better with regular Mordred than, like, you know, Mordred does with Artoria, right? Like, it's kind of a thing, obviously. But, like, they could have Proto Mordred get along really well with Artoria instead of Arthur, which actually makes some sense because like the whole thing is Artoria by accident, really, like just because she has no idea how to deal with people. But you know, she is very how do I put this? Very unaccommodating of Mordred, right? Doesn't understand her at all. Doesn't ever say anything nice to Mordred, right? Worst, you know, parental figure possible, really. And that's very bad, you know, for Mordred. But if you look at Proto Mordred, it's kind of like implied he's like the opposite. He like needs tough love, right? Like he's like spoiled, right? You know, he needs like a more stoic figure, if you will. So it would be really funny if, like, you know, Arthur is bad for Proto Mordred because he's too nice, but Artoria just coincidentally it works out because she's, you know, more stoic or whatever, if you will. So that would just be a kind of a funny thing there because they already have the opposite with Arthur and regular Mordred. So, but like I said, it actually kind of makes sense with what they've said about Proto Mordred and stuff. So. Okay, man, I have not used Mordred much since the Rainbow change, so I'm not really sure what she wants command code-wise. It used to be Starbomb and Art, and like that was that. But we ultimately don't know that much about Proto Mordred. It does kind of imply by Arthur, though, that he spoiled him, and then also he's like, you know, during Battle of Kimlon, he's like crazy fucking, you know, psycho Gandary nonsense, but, you know, that's just a Battle of Kimlon. Like, if all we saw of Mordred was Battle of Kimlon, we wouldn't really know what the character was about, so we'll just have to see. I'm kind of worried they're just never gonna revisit Prototype, though, at this point, but, we'll see. I think we'll do one Starbomb on quick because I could see us wanting to Rainbow Chain. I don't know what to put on the other art card. You could always do like heal or something. Kind of depends on if we need to muscle this or if we need to live a little bit. Could do another Starbomb or Merlin. I think I'll do Starbomb, but I'm not like super confident in this, but it could be fine. Alright, no need for Yang CE, I don't think. Hey, Frenzy Chaos, 40 months, man, that's a long time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a minute to eat, and then I might come back with like Epic 7. I haven't streamed that in a little bit. Touch base with like the guild and all that. Man, I wish that I wish FGO had some of the like the co-op mechanics that Epic 7 and stuff does. Like Epic 7 has a lot of problems because of the gearing and all that shit that kind of just corrupts everything good that they do. But they do have some really good ideas that if they were implemented in the game more like FGO or Arknights would be. Why do we have to have Artoria here? Get the chin. Oh god, this is the Stheno account. It doesn't like have all the bells and whistles for like yeeting somebody. Fuck. I don't know if I even have a level 1 Chin Gong, let alone K-Scope and the passive, etc. Well, I guess it's Chin Gong and Mordred against whatever the fuck we're fighting here. I think Arthur has an ad with him too, so not like the worst. Do I have his passive unlocked? Nope. Holy shit, can I get it? Poi, Gundam Battle Up 2. It's actually happening again. Will they get the netcode right this time? God, I really enjoyed Gundam Evo, but you know, one, it didn't have a very vibrant community, so that kind of killed it pretty quick. But Battle Ops got like a more hardcore fan base just because it's like kind of the Gundam game. So I'm hoping they'll have more longevity on it. And I've kind of just always, I like Gundam Evo a lot, I really did, but I've always been looking forward to Battle Ops 2 more because, you know, Gundam Evo is an Overwatch game, ultimately, where Battle Ops is a Gundam game, so yeah, I really want to play that. Okay, passives. Nope, only 72 coins. God damn it. I haven't been doing FP summons over here, so it is what it is. I guess we can have Pastoria just use her buffs. Oh my god, and I don't think they're making us use MASH because you're like freeing MASH here or whatever. But yeah, I'm totally excited for Battle Ops 2. And then there's Gundam, like SD Gundam Evolve, which is going to be like a Gacha game, and they've made Gundam Gacha games in the past that were atrocious, but it looks more like an actual video game, where most of their previous stuff has been like autoplay nonsense. I guess we're just gonna double NP here, because why not? Sucks that Mordred didn't get an art card. Gonna give her this anyway. Do I bust her up here? Yeah, why not? Oh, they have Shadow Castoria. I think it's like Morgan's Memory or whatever the fuck, or whatever the balls her name was back in the day. I don't think I should have done that quick card just for the rainbow chain. I don't think that was worth it. They had buffs her up, so. It's a shame I didn't have a proper level 1 Shingon though. Let's try to solo this. Oh yeah, we get anti-Arthur damage. And she has anti-saber as a passive. She just did so much damage there. I don't know how, but I forgot about the anti-Arthur damage. I was just thinking about the anti-saber damage. Yeah, we're gonna win this pretty easy because of that. But I'll take it. Just for the fun of it, let's grab these. You know what, we'll do this as well. Looks like I can remove one of these attack buffs. Yep. And I've got 50% defense up, so I'd be very surprised if I died here. It actually does quite a bit of damage. Alright, let's see what we do. We've only got the Mysticode Buster up, but still. Yep, that did quite a lot. God damn, dude. Absolutely crushed there. Mashes a ice cube in the back. And I gotta get through this story though, so I can get to Fluffy again. We're pretty close though, like Morgan's pretty quick. After, like, we're about to end part 2, and then part 3 is like pretty short. God, some people got like all emotional here when like MASH came back, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. And also, who the fuck thought MASH wasn't gonna like come back, right? Like, Jesus. But MASH is just so boring, dude. Like, I just do not. Every time they try to like make MASH important, I just roll my eyes. It's like, whatever. Okay, chat. I am going to take a quick break. I am going to eat some dinner, and then we'll do a little bit of Epic 7 catching up. And then, I need to play some Arknights, so just not enough time in the day for everything. It's kind of the problem. I want to play Elden Ring too, so... We'll see. I might be streaming for a good while tonight. But yeah, I'll be back in like 10 minutes. Just gotta get some grub. And then we'll probably do some Epic 7 for a bit. And then we'll probably do Elden Ring, because I really do want to play that. But yeah, I shall return. And then, yeah, Epic... Or, Lostbelt 7, not Epic 7. And Lostbelt 7 is, like, any day now, really. It could happen at any time. Although I suspect it's not going to be until, like... I kind of think they're going to drop it on December 1st or whatever the fuck. What December go to? The 30th? Or, no, it's the 31st. Yeah, I could totally see them doing that. So we might have a few weeks still. But it is coming pretty soon. Anyway, I'm getting food. I'll be back. Peace.